complain about the weather in State College for this time of year, that's for sure. 41 degrees, 10 to 15 miles per hour the wind. Sunny right now. Obviously, the temperatures will dip as we get into early evening. Joe Paterno, leading active coach in victories, looks for number 268 as he stalks the Penn State sideline in his 29th year as the head man. And on the other side, the second winningest coach in Michigan State history to his mentor, Duffy Daugherty. And George Perles says for his Spartans today, the game against Penn State could not be any bigger.
No matter what happens after this game, if we do get a bowl bid, you won't play a team that has a better rating. Rating maybe 1 or 2 in the country, Penn State is. You won't play in front of more people because this place is a sellout. You won't play in front of a bigger audience because this is ESPN and it's national. This is, a lot of schools would trade their bowl game to have this opportunity. This is a great, great opportunity for our kids.
And the opportunity on the kickoff is Derek Mason's as he takes it out to about the 27-yard line. And that's where the Spartans will go to work offensively for the first time. And Big Tony Banks, the junior college transfer, brings out the crew. Dwayne Goulburn is closing in on a 1,000-yard season. He needs just 120 today with Banks and Travis Reese. Nigea Carter. Gary talked about the per-catch average of the two guys for Penn State. Carter averaging 30 yards a catch in Big Ten play with Mason and Oregon. Up front, Brian DeMarco, they say the best of the crew by far all season long with Denton, Burkmeyer, Cronin, and Hanna. And a first down, Michigan State. And no gain on the play. Penn State drops Goulburn in a hurry. The Nittany Lions defensively. Todd Atkins up front. Forced a big fumble last year that helped Penn State come from behind to win. He joins Mazik, Noble, and Perry in the 4-man front. Brian Gelsheiser, number 2 all-time, and career tackles now for the Nittany Lions with Yaboa Cody and Willie Smith. And 3 different starters have started at the hero spot due to injury. Jason Collins gets the call today with King, Miller, and Pittman. No gain on play number 1 and 2nd and 10 for Tony Banks, who will toss it back to Goulburn, who cuts up across the 30, close to the 32, and Gelsheiser is in on the tackle.
Something very familiar for Michigan State people watching Penn State against this strong running attack for Michigan State is Penn State will come up with an 8-man front probably half the football game until Tony Banks proves that he can throw the ball.
Banks has increased his efficiency since we saw him last, and as I said, coming in the Big Ten stats, number 2 only to Kerry Collins, the Penn State signal caller. Here's his first throw on 3rd and 6. Man open in the flat. What a great one-handed catch by Green. Dives ahead for the first down. For a fullback, he is something special. The leading receiver for the Spartans coming out of the backfield.
That was a one-handed catch right there by Green. He's also going to see a lot of action today at tailback. Watch him stick out that left hand, grab it. You know, if you're going to play fullback and be effective, when you think about Mike Alstott from Purdue and now Scott Green here at Michigan State, you have to be involved in the passing game. Scott Green can do it. You'll see him today carry the ball about 10 times at tailback.
Only a minute 25 seconds into the game. That's maybe the best catch we'll see all day. 1st and 10, Michigan State. The give to Goulburn, who cuts back. A nice cut back and got about 4 out of it after the 42. Gary said we'll see some of Green at tailback, and as a matter of fact, that switch is going to be made right now. Goulburn comes out and Green in.
Brad, you know, you're talking about the problems that they've had at the hero back and the safety position for Penn State. Really, they're using their number 5 and 6 safeties in the game right now. They've lost their top 4 people at the 2 positions.
Green's numbers, 2nd down at 6, just under 13 minutes to go. First quarter. Here's Green on his first carry out of the backfield. They actually picked up a yard or 2 after he was hit Willie Smith and Brian Miller there, and Jeff Perry's kind of the guy that hit him forward. And it brings up another 3rd down situation.
It's a new play that Michigan State has really come on with in the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's a draw play from the I formation. Morris Watts, the offensive coordinator, and George Perles was telling us that with the size of the Michigan State offensive line, he likes to set them back and let the stunning defensive line take them the way they want and just run to the open territory. We'll see a lot of it.
2nd, 3rd down situation of the game from the 45. Banks, plenty of time, wide open. Goulburn out of the backfield. Another Spartan first down right near midfield. Brian Miller made the tackle.
Tony Banks, averaging over 60% completion, has really come on. I think at the beginning of the year, he was a little bit of a liability for this Michigan State offense, especially early in that Kansas game. Neither Tony Banks or really, for all that matter, the Michigan State offensive line was ready to play, but he's come on effectively for the team. He's really not able to carry the whole load on his shoulders, but Morris Watts really doesn't expect him to do it at this point.
From midfield. Whistles and flags. And first penalty of the game. Ron Winter is our referee.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Backs it up to the 45. George Perlis, 12th year and final game.
There's Morris Watts. Morris Watts had talked about to us last night that the problems he's had with a new quarterback and the problems with the 20-hour work week, basically, for these football players, he's had to keep it simple for Tony Banks.
Being a junior college transfer, he says sometimes he doesn't even have enough time to study film and isn't quite sure what he's studying when he does. Scott Green. And that's why they run him at tailback. He gives him a big back option, but he's got excellent speed, and he rumbles for 18 yards.
Scott Green will play in the NFL. He's faster than he appears to be. I'd say he's 4'6", 4'7", 40. Catches the ball well, and he's a power. Reminds me of Scotty Graham. Remember at Ohio State a couple years ago, a little taller version. Everybody was surprised to see what he did in the pro game, but he's got those quick feet. And, you know, the pros love a guy who can take on blitzes, run the ball, and catch the ball. He'll be an effective player.
He can do them all. Good looking opening drive for the Spartans. They worked it to the 37-yard line of the Nittany Lions. And again, Goldberg up the middle. He got 5. Yaboa Cody in on the tackle. Can you believe the Florida State score? Gary and I were in shock. It was 31-3 when we said, well, we don't have time to pay attention anymore. It's over anyway. And Tennessee now has got it in gear.
You know, I was thinking down there in Florida, it was time to hit the beaches. I think maybe the Florida players were thinking the same thing.
You're right. Second down and 5. 10th play of the Michigan State drive. Green on a little counter, and he maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. That's about it.
Well, he did. You know, even if he picked up 2 yards there, I think it would have been thrown for a couple-yard loss. Really like the attitude of the Michigan State running game. We talked about the last 3 weeks, how they've been effective running the ball. Their offensive line has taken over the game, and they really are moving the ball forward in the style that George Perlis made famous. And there you see the stats right there, when they win and when they lose, what they do.
Third down and 5. Third down's been good to them so far in this opening drive, which has carried them 5 minutes into the first quarter. At the 32-yard line of Penn State. Here comes a blitz from the corner. Banks stands in, fires, got his man. It's going to be a touchdown. Derek Mason, 32 yards.
We talked about the problems Penn State had in the secondary. The free safety took a very bad angle on that square-in route, cost them 7 points. Coming from the right side of your screen, you will see the free safety. Number 19, Brian King, take a poor angle. He's out of it right there and right into the end zone. Michigan State up. Beautiful for opening drive.
Just can't have that many changes in those two positions back there at safety and the hero back and not expect that to happen once in a while. The extra point, Chris Gardner's up and good. So an impressive opening march takes the Spartans 73 yards, capped by the touchdown throw. It's 7-0 Michigan State. BN's presentation of college football is brought to you by Buick, makers of the concept car that you can drive, the 1995 Riviera. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires. Tony Banks finishes off the Michigan State scoring drive. 3 for 3 on their third down conversions on that drive, and they went 73 yards on the opening march, 5-13. They mixed it up with a run in the pass, and Derek Mason with a 32-yard touchdown catch.
Derek Mason's really come on since Mill Coleman was lost to the injury, I think against Ohio State, when he was just running down the field and had a knee injury.
Tony Banks perfect. Long way to go. Brad Costello will kick off. Mike Archie and Ambrose Fletcher back deep. Archie runs up on it at the 12-yard line. And Archie bounces across the 25 to the 26. That's where Kerry Collins and the Penn State offense will set up shop. Here's how the starting lineup looks. Brian Milne in for John Whitman, who's out with a bad ankle. Kajana Carter and Collins are both All-Americans. So's Kyle Brady, best tight end in the country. He's made 2 All-American teams already. And Ingram and Scott, the 2 wideouts Gary talked about. Excellent group up front. They really move their feet well. They're not as big as some groups, but they pull well. And Hardings is the leader with Conlon, Greeley, Rivera, and Johnson.
Congratulations. Did the layups before they scored, Brad.
Usually only takes them about 2:17 to put points up. And nothing doing inside. No gain on the play against Michigan State's defense with Juan Hammonds. 10 tackles for loss leads the team, and he's one of the captains with Jackson and Person in a 3-man front. Some impact players in Reese and Garnett, but Matt Christensen, the coaches say, has been the most consistent linebacker. Yakini Allen rounds out the linebacking core. Demetrius Martin leads the Big Ten in interceptions with 7. Callender, Sherells, and Manson join him in the Michigan State secondary. No gain on the first play, and Penn State has it 2nd down at 10. John Carter across the 35, given 9. Ike Reese ran him down.
Michigan State is really coming up and challenging the Penn State offense, putting almost 9 men close to the line of scrimmage, playing man-to-man, bump and run on the corners. We saw Kajana Carter against Indiana with a similar type offense, bust one for 80 yards. There's no help for pursuit in the secondary. If you don't make the tackle at the line of scrimmage, you could go all the way.
That 80-yarder doesn't hurt your average. He's the top back in the country per carry. You saw the 7.7. 3rd down, it's short. Flags down as Carter is going to be close, but again, penalty markers on the play.
Yeah, usually when that comes down so close like that, it means one of the defensive linemen was lined up in the neutral zone.
Number 21, Demetrius Martin.
Offside. Michigan State gives Penn State an automatic 1st down.
You can see the coach is upset, lining up in the neutral zone.
You know, Penn State this year has been brilliant on their opening drives in picking up points. 50% of the time they get touchdowns, but Michigan State doesn't give up any. So somebody will improve their stats here, and somebody will go downhill.
We talked to Fran Ganner, the offensive coordinator for Penn State. We were talking specifically about the Indiana game that we did when Indiana came and surprised them with a lot of 5 3-man fronts. And he said, you know, we were just too hard-hitted. If Michigan State comes up and challenges us, we're going to throw the ball. There they are again.
Yeah, they're bringing it up right now. Collins may have made the adjustment. He will throw. Quick slant. Freddie Scott to the 44-yard line.
That was definitely an audible by Collins right there. He saw the 8-man front audible to him. Henry Butler, the defensive coordinator for Michigan State, is playing a little game of cat and mouse with Collins right now. He gave him a look with a bare front and then had his linebacker drop off into the flat for a zone. So it won't be easy for Collins all game, but he throws the ball like that on the slants. There's really not too many defenses that can stop him.
1st down at the Spartan 44-yard line.
Unbalanced line to the right.
Which is the way they go with Kajana Carter. Carter to the corner, met at the corner and knocked out of bounds. Short gain. And really the play made out on the corner by Demetrius Martin. Let's check in with Adrian.
Brad, this is really a key time for State's defense, Michigan State's defense, that is, primarily because, yeah, Penn State can score so quickly on their first possession, but Bullis sent his group in there and said, expect good things to happen, guys. He knows as well as the rest of his unit, many times they've been up on teams and then intimidated by their blue and white uniforms or whatever, and they expect bad things to happen. So they got to hang in here. Key time for them.
They made a nice stop there. Carter didn't get anything. 2nd down at 10. Scott in motion. Collins going to wheel and flip it out there to Scott on a wide-out screen. Got a block from Carter, and then got tattooed at the 37-yard line by Ike Reese.
When we talked about Freddie Scott and Bobby Ingram, actually Freddie Scott is a little faster than Bobby Ingram. Fran Ganner told us that what Bobby does better than Freddie is there's no one better once he leaves his feet to catch the ball. Freddie Scott, He can run the post to get open. And kind of interesting when he told us, but Freddie will often, he's the younger of the two, come in and suggest plays, and he can get open. And you know what Frank Gaynor says? Usually he's pretty right.
You said his old man was the same way.
Yeah, he was. But it was, you know what? You can't trust it. It was always to them. I never heard him suggest a fullback play.
Let's see if Freddie called his own number. 3rd and 3. Carter. Oh, he and Collins run into each other on the exchange, and he goes down in a heap and a loss of about 3.
And then they're in that in-between situation right now where you wonder if they're even going to punt. You'll see Collins and Carter, the right foot or right knee of the two click. Michigan State needs a couple breaks like that. Well, that's the only way you're going to stop an offense as powerful as Penn State.
Kerry Collins just came up with the best tackle of the game.
He didn't wrap him up, though.
Not really. Canea to punt. Fair catch called for. Nice acting job. Got it in the end zone by Derek Mason. And it'll be Michigan State offensively from the 20 with a 7-point lead when we come back. Coming up tonight, Boston College quarterback Mark Hartzell and his favorite target Pete Mitchell will hook up as they go against Warren the Sackman Sapp, leading Dennis Erickson's 5th-ranked Hurricanes. They play host to the Boston College Eagles. CFA primetime starts at 7:30 Eastern tonight, right here on ESPN. With Gary Danielson and Adrian Karsten, Brad Nessler with you. Michigan State leading 7-0 with 6:07 left first quarter. Spartans from the 20. Long handoff to Goldberg. He got about 3 out of it. That one takes a long time to materialize. Chris Mazik and Willie Smith in on the stop. Mazik's the first man to meet him.
Brad, I've been to a lot of games, and I really have never heard a crowd so well behaved. It's really quiet. I can't really quite figure it out, except I began to think, you know, Monday starts deer hunting season. I think they're getting ready to be quiet. It's big deer hunting country here. They're going to just sit back and be quiet.
We got a little bit of bright orange mixed in with the navy and white out here. Banks in trouble. Down he goes. Way back at the 15. Mazik is there. So's Noble. And now they're making a little bit of noise, and there are deer scattering all over the hills.
Michigan State tried to come with a little bit of a screen pass to the right side that time. Penn State, Gelsizer did a nice job of sniffing it out. Tony Banks went away from it. Probably would have been better off if he just threw the ball away and teed it up again for 3rd down. But now he's going to have 3rd and long, and this is the situation that Morris Watts has to be careful with his play call. He does not want a turnover. Like to run a lot of draws in this situation.
Their 3rd downs have been good, but they haven't been 3rd and 15, which is what they have here. 3 wideouts. Banks in trouble again. He scrambles for his life, and now he'll take off, get what he can, and he almost got enough for a 1st down. 2 yards short, all the way out to the 28-yard line. But Zeke ran him down. He got 13.
Great effort. It ended up being as good as a draw play right there. We saw Banks probably in his best game of the year against Wisconsin when he had a number of scrambles and came out and really won the game with scrambles just like this. I don't think he's ultra fast. No way he's 4'6" or anything, but very smart runner.
Solani into punt for the first time. Mike Archie's back deep for Penn State. Nice handling of the low snap by Solani and a good kick as well. Archie at the 30. Mike Archie got 20 on the return to midfield. 42-yard kick, but Mike Archie took it 20 yards the other way. And the Nittany Lions trail by 7, but they'll have great field position when we come back.
Sea of RVs. Now, football fans will sometimes travel 2 days over 2-lane highways in Pennsylvania just to get their favorite parking place. This is the Goodrich family. This is their microbus I'm standing on top of. Now, the parents went to Michigan State, the children to Penn State. They're here vying for the Goodrich family trophy. Children lead parents 38-37.
I just hope the Goodrich family has good insurance, because I'm sure there's a dent on top of their RV now. There only are 2-lane roads around Happy Valley. Penn State from midfield after the nice punt return by Archie. Nice play fake by Collins. Got some pressure, fires wide open into flats. Brady is tight end. And the All-American works his way down to the 10. 41 yards.
Brad, Michigan State is gambling. I'll admit that, but there's no gamble defense where you don't cover the tight end. It's a busted assignment by somebody. Matt Christensen is in Collins' face, but when Kyle Brady catches this ball, he's about 30 yards from the nearest defender. Bobby Ingram and Freddie Scott out in front of him, and I really thought he might score, but you know, I really like to go back to that punt catch, a play early by Archie, because I think he put his knee down, and that's 2 years in a row that Michigan State had come back, spotted by the guys in the truck, Ed Place and Mark. There you see Mike Archie on the 30-yard line, put his knee down on that play. Penn State got 20-yard break.
And after that break came the 41-yard catch by Brady, and now Carter for a couple on the sweep. Matt Christensen ran him out of bounds. It'll be second down and goal. Brian Gelsheiser getting the left ankle retaped.
I was referring to a year ago when the Penn State punter put his knee down to field a punt early in the late in the game, and it really would have given Michigan State a 2-point play in the end zone. That's 2 years in a row that a Penn State player put his knee down and hasn't been called.
Inside the 20, first in the Big Ten, as you saw. There's second and goal at the 7-yard line. John Carter is going to score. His 19th of the season from 7 yards out, and we're an extra point away from a tie game.
Michigan State was so concerned with covering the wide receivers that the running game just absolutely caught them by surprise, and it was a walk-in right there. Good job by the offensive line. Keith Conlon, right tackle, had an outstanding block.
Philip Collins to hold. Brett Conway for the point after. 54 of 55 in extra points this year. Make it 55 of 56. 3 minutes, 21 seconds remaining. First quarter. Nittany Lions have drawn even with the Spartans of Michigan State, 7-7.
Another typical drive for Penn State. There's Conlon right there that's going to get the block key, and you're going to see John Carter basically almost turn around and score on this play right here. That's an easy walk-on. The reason is Michigan State was playing man-to-man coverage. Everybody was covering their eligible receivers. Just folded them down in a walk-in.
As Gary said, a typical scoring drive for Penn State. How typical? How about 43 seconds? It's a little bit under their average, but you get the idea.
Why don't you keep hitting me?
Well, he was outside.
Well, I know I cut out. And
Replay drive for the score to even things off. And again, something I did not see at all on the live action, but the guys in the truck and Gary were talking about. Mike Archie's knee apparently touching down before what ended to be a 20-yard punt return.
I don't think it would have changed the outcome of the play. It really might have kept Kyle Brady from gaining another 20 yards.
The kick. Derek Mason's been an excellent kick returner. Single season record for Michigan State, in fact. Broke a tackle here and got out to the 25-yard line with 3:14 left first quarter here. Right now, let's check in with Mike Tirico.
Okay, Brad, part of the SWC regular season picture complete. Rice's Chad Nelson over 100 yards today and a touchdown as Rice defeated Houston. Here are the final standings in the Southwest Conference. 5 teams at 4-3. Don't have time to explain the tiebreaker, but Texas Tech goes to the Cotton Bowl.
I'm glad you're thinking about explaining the tiebreaker. I would never take a shot at that.
It's the way to end the conference. We'll all finish at the same time, right?
Tied up at 7. Spartans from the 25, and it's Goldberg. Well, you heard the crowd with a woo, but it was 6 yards too late. Jason Collins, the hero back, came up, made the hit, but Goldberg got 6.
Goldburn's averaging 4.5 yards a carry. Last year, he averaged 5 yards a carry, but he's been coming on since the move of putting Green in and run a little bit of a tailback. And you can see he's got nice quickness to the outside. And, you know, all the Spartan players today are really, really fired up. Here you see Najee Carter trying to get his guy down. Does a nice job of blocking his man in a little bit of a chicken fight block out there in the man-to-man in the corner.
I'm glad you said fight when you said chicken block. I was wondering what was coming next. Third down, long three, Scott Green. He
really is impressive. And his offensive linemen love the way he takes it up in there. The big guys push forward, and you get 230 pounds just roaring up in there. He's effective running that attitude-type running play.
It was kind of funny yesterday talking to Jerry Sandusky, the defensive coordinator for Penn State. And he was talking about Scott Green. He says, you know, it's so deceiving. He looks so darn slow in those uniforms.
Right.
We said, hey, Jerry, wait a minute.
That's been the Penn State story for years, right? The black shoes, the blue jerseys.
Green's got 29 yards on his 4 carries. 1st and 10 from the 41. And the movement, apparently, on the Michigan State offensive line brought Todd Atkins across.
I think Shane Hanna, number 63, might have moved. Although the size he is, if you move, I think you recognize it pretty easily.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
When Shane Hanna moves, normally we can feel it in the press box.
Right.
About 330-pounder.
A little bit of a pucker right here. You'll see, oh, right there. That's it. That's all he has to move. And, of course, that's once he puts his hand on the ground, he can't do it. Todd Atkins comes charging across.
That makes it 1st and 15.
Todd really wasn't sure if he was allowed to do that.
Banks straight drop over the middle. Trying to go to Bob Organ, his tight end. Gelsheiser popped him as the ball arrived.
Gelsheiser does a nice job. Remember, he was a high school quarterback, so has a real comfortable with the passing game. Doesn't have great speed for a linebacker, but does a nice job of waiting till the last second to come in there and get Organ from behind.
You know, the joke goes that Jim Kelly was recruited by Penn State, and they would have made him a great linebacker instead of an all-pro quarterback. This kid was recruited by some of the other big schools, but he knew he wanted to play at Penn State, and he knew he would not be a quarterback. He always wanted to be an Nittany Lion linebacker. 2nd and 15. Banks. Well, he was waiting for Nigel Carter to come free, I guess. Coverage out there by Tony Pittman.
Michigan State has 2 drives now, really hurt themselves with a big sack on a screen play and an offsides penalty by Shane Hanna. They cannot get behind the down and distance and be effective. This offense just isn't built to play from behind like this.
Now they find themselves in 3rd and long. Morris Watts sends the play in with Nigel Carter. Carter averaging 30 yards a catch in Big Ten games. He's number 81. Let's see if they look to him. He brought in the play. Will it be his own? 3rd down and 15. Banks loads, goes the other way. Incomplete, intended for Mason, and he overthrew it.
I tell you, that ball was still rising as it went over Mason's head. He has got an arm, and he will be, as he becomes more comfortable with major college football player, a fine quarterback for Michigan State next year.
Chris Solani in to kick. His first one went 42, but Archie took it 20 the other way. After maybe touching his knee down on the catch. See what he does with this one. Fair catch this time by Mike. And he'll take it at the 24-yard line. 41-yard kick. Coming up, NCAA basketball. DirecTV Grade 8 from Auburn Hills. I think I'll stay at your house, Daniel.
Yeah, we're only about a mile and a half from there.
1:37 left in the quarter. Kajana Carter takes it out to the 32-yard line. Stan Callender ran Kajana out. Kajana a little bit slow getting up.
John Carter does such a nice job with his body lean forward. He never really appears to be off balance or making a move. He seems in control when he's running the ball, and much bigger than people would really realize. You know, he weighs about 220 pounds, and at 5'10", he's really a load to bring down.
7-7 leads the country per carry average.
You know, he's a little bit of a victim of having a great balanced offense, or he could be really in the running for the Heisman.
Counter with Archie. Archie, a little different kind of runner. Gives you a little more of that. And he takes it out to the 45-yard line. 12 yards for Archie.
I'd like to have a backup running back like Mike Archie like that. Doesn't get a lot of opportunities, but has great quickness. Probably a little bit more of the spin moves than Kajana Carter is slashing. Reggie Garnett is going to come across and try to make the play. Ike Reese, you see down on the top of your screen, number 10, Bobby Ingram throwing on people. You have a Penn State offense that really is determined that everyone is going to make a play on every play.
Mike Archie had his big game against Illinois, 134 yards and a couple of touchdowns in that come-from-behind effort. Nittany Lions first down from their own 45, and it's Archie wants to throw an option. Airs it out for Ingram. Got it. And Ingram's going to score. Touchdown. And Mike Archie can give you, I guess, a little bit of that, too. 55 yards, touchdown.
Penn State scores on this play. It's hard to believe that Michigan State had to play pretty well defense. 2 poor tackles. Robert Sherrell, number 2, and Demetrius Martin, number 21, both missed a tackle. I thought Sherrell should have made the play while the ball was in the air.
Brett Conway for the point after. Up and good.
Halfback option pass. Archie obviously throws it better than Kajana Carter. Really doesn't matter. You throw it up in the air to Bobby Ingram, you have a chance for good things to happen right here. Takes it downhill for a couple steps, then comes back to get his nice stride forward. The ball hung in the air, but Mike Archie had Bobby Ingram open, and I thought number 2, Robert Sherrell, could have come over while this ball was in the air and made the play. He went for the tackle and then just made a poor tackle. 2 men miss. Pretty good defense. Neither player made the tackle. Penn State scores.
For Mike Archie, his second touchdown pass of the year. The other was to Freddie Scott against Temple. Mr. Versatility. There's the battery of that last Penn State touchdown.
Well, you know, Mike Archie doesn't have a great percentage. He's thrown 10 passes. Now this is his 11th. So he's 2 completions and 10 passes.
Our second 43-second touchdown.
They're going to have to work on that. That's slow.
Penn State 2 touchdowns, both scoring drives, 43 yards. 43 seconds, rather. One went 50 yards. That one 76 yards, capped by the touchdown. Nice kick. Mason, a yard deep, will bring it. And he got a crease. Derek Mason outside. Derek Mason. He might go. Derek Mason, 100 yards, touchdown. Holy cow. Well, they did it faster than Penn State on that one. That only took about 12 seconds. We told you he's got the single-season kickoff return mark for Michigan State. Boy, did he just add to it with an asterisk with that one. Goal to goal.
When he broke the first line of defenders, I thought he should have cut to his right and he had clear sailing. He went to his left, and only the kicker, Brett Conway, could have made a play, and he got turned around and was looking for a soccer ball, I guess. I don't know.
Chris Gardner. Looked like Penn State may have jumped offside. As the extra point's good.
Either that or they induced the Michigan State players to rise up a bit early.
That could be, and if it is, it'll make it a much longer extra point attempt. Rod Winter will come out of that pile of stripes and let us know.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. It's all right. Repeat the try.
You're right, Gare, so they'll back it up. Derek Mason on a 14-second scoring drive. Now this is no longer a chip shot for Gardner, although he knocks it right down the middle again. 14-14 with 40 seconds left in the first quarter. Another look at Derek Mason.
Right when you thought that Penn State was taking control of this football game, the special teams come through. I thought he was going to break right there, but he goes to the left. Number 20, Brett Conway, right here. Number 20, you see him. He turns around. Where's the soccer ball? Where's it up? He's by him.
And an amazing tightrope job, because I thought he was going to run out of real estate on the sideline. coast for Derek Mason. And we're tied at 14.
Well, that was a big lift for the Spartans because I really think that at that point in the game, they were wondering, could they play with these guys again? Penn State had quickly scored 2 touchdowns in 43-second drives back-to-back, and now the Spartan defense will have an opportunity to see if they can get a stop, and that'll be key. You know, it's hard to believe, but it's still first quarter.
You're wondering about the last kickoff return given up by Penn State for a touchdown. Alan Pinkett, 93 yards for Notre Dame 12 years ago. Well, I can take 4 quarters like this, Gary. Yeah. This would be fun.
We've got 40 seconds left. That's 2 touchdowns.
It could be 21-21 by the end of the first, the way this one's going. Fletcher and Archie back deep. Costello's kick coming up, and it will be Mike Archie. He's been electrifying so far today as well from the 1. Archie across the 30. And boy, had one guy, or it would have been all over, Musin Mahalat ran him down. Let's check in with Adrian Carson.
Brad, that kickoff return is the result of the extra week off for Michigan State. The coaching staff got the idea last weekend after looking at Penn State that they come down the field on kickoff coverage out of control. They don't break down. So what they did was to have the guys protect Mason, set up the picket line to the left side of the field, and let him go.
And go he did. Penn State from its zone 31, and it's number 32, Carter. Kajana's got 10. Damian Manson finally brought him down.
They have a nice stop on defense, and Penn State gains 10 yards on the play, or 9.5 yards, whatever. Just so many weapons, so many good athletes playing for this Penn State offense, and very simple. Henry Bullis said there's no real surprises on what they're going to do. Very basic plays.
Just very talented athletes that carry out the game plan and execute. We're going to take a look at this. I said he got 10. I don't think it was quite 10, but we'll find out right here. Ooh.
Man, you can't keep guessing like that, Brad. That kills us. You say 10, he gets 9, and
hey, Ron Winter doesn't get this much time. He should. I just said 10 in a hurry. It's an inch short.
He didn't. Our credibility goes right down.
That close. John even has to smile on that one.
Yeah, ruined his average. I think this is a waist down right now.
Put one up.
I think maybe Freddie Scott down the right sideline might be a good call right here.
I'm all for that. Freddie comes out to the right side. Ingram to the left. And second down and a couple of inches with 18 seconds left in the quarter. There's the play fake. Going to go the other way. Ingram for the home run ball. A little bit too far in front. Some incidental contact down there with Stan Callender. No flag.
Well, he blew it. Should have gone down the right side.
To Freddie Scott, yeah.
Really a good call. They have so much confidence, and really it's 3rd and a quarter of an inch. But you got an offense that everybody wants the ball. They only have one football.
So now the 3rd down play may be the final one of the quarter. Mill will be the fullback in front of Kajana Carter. Actually, they're in the dual set right now. And it's Mill, and he's got the first down. Out near the 45 goes Brian Mill, and after they move the sticks, Penn State will have a first down, and the quarter will come to a close. Kerry Collins can head over to talk to Joe Paterno and company. 15 minutes of electricity is what we've had at State College. At the end of one, we're dead even at 14. Set for the second 15 minutes in State College. First 15 minutes belong to Michigan State as far as the clock, but that never matters when you're playing Penn State. You can ask Gary Barnett Northwestern last week and what happened. We're tied at 14. Collins off play action. He got hammered as he threw, but he got it to Freddie Scott on a crossing pattern. And Scott's out to the 31-yard line of Michigan State. 24-yard pass play.
Really impressed with Collins on that one. He had a guy bearing down right at him, and he just ripped that throw in there to Freddie Scott. Coming from the outside, I think it's Ike Reese, number 44. He can feel him. Watch him gun this ball in right there as the defender comes across. Play fake, stick out the ball with 2 hands, put it into the stomach, turn around. You know you got the crossing route coming in, the post going deep. Just make a hard throw, and it was right on the button.
Helps to be 6'5", 235 to follow through when you get hit like that. There's Collins' numbers. Here's the counter to Kajana Carter. Carter down to the 12. Ike Reese saved a touchdown. Kajana Carter for 19 more for Penn State.
Such nice patience with the running game that time. He knew he had his lineman coming from the backside. He waited for him, and then made the cut right behind number 53, Keith Conlin, and boy, he's into the secondary. Great patience as a running back, and of course he has that explosive speed to gash it up in there.
Down to the 12-yard line. Kajana Carter already 52 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Bobby Ingram in motion. Ingram gets it. Wide out screen. Trying to weave to the end zone. And he got all the way to the 1. 11 more yards on the pickup. Ike Reese with a tackle.
Bobby Ingram's going to go in motion this time, and he gets the slip screen to the wide receiver. One of the linemen come out in front of him. This time it was number 54, Marco Rivera, and he kind of has patience to get to the end zone himself. Everybody's trying to score on this team. You know you don't have very many chances. You don't have the ball that much. Every play for Penn State is a potential touchdown, it seems like.
And Frank Ganter has told us that they feed off that. Everybody wants to make a big play. A minute into the second quarter. First and goal.
Like go to Mills
for the touchdown. Brian Mills, 8th touchdown of the season.
They're easy to call. They're just tough to stop.
As Hank Muller said, they're not that complicated, but nobody's really been able to slow them down. Somebody might have 21 points by the end of the first quarter. It actually took us a minute and 3 seconds into the second quarter to get another touchdown. Conway's kick up and good. 13:57 to go first half. The Nittany Lions with Brian Mills from a yard out, back in front by 7. PN's presentation of college football is brought to you by GE. From aircraft engines to appliances, we bring good things to life. By Buick, makers of the concept car you can drive, the 1995 Riviera. The Nittany Lions shrine looks on. The Nittany Lions have a 7-point lead, and the Lion mascot's being worked up the crowd. 21-14, 13:57 to go in the half. Joe Paterno's team trying to finish off a perfect regular season. Number 2 in the country coming in. The Big Ten champions, and on their way to Pasadena to meet the Ducks of Oregon. Conway squibs one down the field, scooped up by Mason. Again, waits for his blockers well. Derrick brings it out across the 35 to the 36. Check in with Adrian.
Brad, George Perlis is concerned now about his offense. He wants to go back to the isolation series he's known so well for. He's concerned about whether or not they can keep up. He does not want to allow this to turn into a track meet. Figures there's no way they can stay within a touchdown or 2, to use his words, by halftime. You don't keep it on the ground and control the ball.
See how they do. They'll work from their own 36-yard line. Carter in motion. Maybe a yard. That's about it for Goldberg. Chris Mazik is having a good game.
Can understand what George Perlis is alluding to. He knows his defense cannot stop this Penn State offense. So Michigan State's offense is going to have to put points on the board. They're going to have to stay away from the silly offensive penalties. They're going to have to stay away from long yardage. And really, the game is really on Tony Banks' shoulders right now. He has to make some plays in the passing game. They're not going to be able to play isolation football the whole game.
Second down and 9. Banks Wanted to bootleg it out. Now he's in trouble and got it to Scott Green. That's the guy to get it to. Green to the middle of the field, and he's all the way to the Penn State 48. Willie Smith made the tackle, but Green weaves his way for 15.
Who is this guy? I mean, he really is a good-looking football player. Throw it out to him, and looks like he's a big old fullback standing out there. Tony Banks does a great job. He was trying to go on a bootleg to the left side, finds Greens, beats two people. Nice athlete, a corner to the outside. Inside he comes in, picks up the first down. I mean, it's great vision, and Scott Green is making plays.
Scott had a career-high 7 catches in the win over Purdue. That one got Michigan State a first down. Here's the flip back to Napoleon Outlaw. And Outlaw brought down by Tony Pittman out of the flat at about the 43-yard line. You know, we talked about you'd like to control the ball against a team like Penn State, but it doesn't matter. Last week, Penn State had the football 19 seconds of the first quarter in their game with Northwestern, and they led 14-0.
Well, that was bad, and it also was bad at halftime. They only had the ball for 5 minutes and 39 seconds. The score was 38-3. The real key against playing against Penn State is you have to put pressure on their defense. That's their weak point. You have to score, not hold the ball.
So far today, Michigan State's done a pretty nice job. Here comes Green, and he's got another first down. This time on the ground as Scott gets it to the 36. Phil Yeboah Cody knocked him down there. About 93,000 packed into Beaver Stadium here today.
I think at the beginning of this year, Michigan State's offensive line let George Perlis down. Really thought that this was going to be the strength of his football team. But right now, I think they're playing some good football, and I think he has confidence that they can run the ball. I think the problem with the Michigan State offense is you can't just run the ball. Scott Green looks good, but I like that first down call of hitting a quick screen.
Here's first down again. Goulburn following his blockers, and Goulburn got the corner. And Goulburn knocked down at the 21-yard line by Jason Collins. Wayne Goulburn, 14 more on the carry.
Bob Organ that time, the tight end, number 94, did a good job of holding his man and sealing it in. The problem is he did a bit too good of a job. I think he got called for the hold on the play.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
Bob Organ's going to be matched up against Todd Atkins, number 58, right there. Whoa, we're going to draw it a little bit better. But if you watch, no matter how I draw it, you're going to see he gets kind of locked up with him. Todd Atkins cannot get loose. That's how they got the corner to the outside, and Goulburn gets the call brought back. You know where you know what? Looking at that, where it ended up now, that was not the call against Bob Organ, because it couldn't be first and yard.
It had to be downfield.
More downfield.
Spot of the foul brought it back only to 36. It's first down and 11. They didn't lose much, and here comes Green to the 30. Scott Green, give him almost 7 on the carry. Gels, Heiser, and Mazik in on the tackle. In the 3-game winning streak that Michigan State has coming in, they have averaged 291 yards a game on the ground, and they're starting to get the ground game going a little bit in this drive.
Yeah, something a little different, too, for Michigan State. They're running a sweep play from split backfields. It's been effective for him in this game. You wouldn't think that Scott Green could get outside of him, but he's doing a good job of it.
We approach 11 minutes in the half. 21-14, Nittany Lions. 2nd and 5, Spark. Goulburn straight up the middle for a first down. Todd Atkins on the bottom of the pile. As Brian Milne and Kajana Carter, they have 2 of the Penn State 3 touchdowns today.
We were talking to Michigan State coaches about why does it appear that no one can stop anybody any longer in college football. And all the coaches, Morris Watson, Henry Bola, George Phillips, all pointed out the fact that with the 85 scholarship limit, the good guys are still going to quarterback, tailback, and wide receiver.
Not enough left on defense.
Defenses are getting the leftovers.
First down at the 25. Banks, the quick out, completes it down to about the 21. Only a pickup of about 4 to Muhammad as we have time to check in with Mike Tirico. Mike?
Brad, a great finish in the 1AA playoff game between Boston University and Eastern Kentucky. BU down 14, scored, recovered an onside kick, final play chance to tie it possibly. Incomplete pass despite 424 yards from Robert Doherty. Eastern Kentucky moves on.
Boston U's been at some heart stoppers, haven't they? Last week it was
Couldn't do it again, right?
blocked extra point last week to let them survive, not today. 2nd down and 7. Toss to Goulburn. Goldburn running hard, tracked down by Yeboah Cody, and he's short of the first down by about 2. Here brings up a key third down situation for Michigan State. I'd get Scott Green back in there if I was the Spartans.
I think Michigan State also missed a guy that's not been able to play with him, Batman Holman, who was a real big, tough runner for Michigan State last year. And I think that's the slot that Scotty Green is providing, that short yardage, tough runner that George Proles always loved to have.
Spartans 60% of their third downs today, and they've got Dozier and Green in their dual backfield. 3rd and 3. Dozier. I don't think so. And now we might have a big decision coming up. It's 4th, and I would say a couple of feet. Todd Atkins knocked Robert Dozier off his pins.
Robert Dozier really didn't do a good job of following his lead blocker that time, Scotty Green. I thought that play could have gone outside and really picked up the first down. Coming on the left side of your screen, you'll see Scott Green lead on Todd Atkins. He's going to come in and get a little bit of penetration, but you'll see if he slid it to the outside and followed his lead blocker, he would have had it.
You're playing the number 2 team in the country, and you're coaching your last game. I'm sure George Proles is thinking, what the heck? 4th down at about 2 feet. Goldburn, fumble! Picked up by Willie Smith. And the Nittany Lions take over.
See George say, okay, we had a good drive. Stay in it. Don't get down. Coming from the inside, I'm not sure who got the initial hit to pop that ball through that time. Looked like Yeboah Cody got the hit, and then fumble pops up into midair, and Scott Green has to make the tackle.
The outside linebackers combine to pick up the football for Penn State. They'll have it when we come back, and they'll have it with a 7-point lead. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Adrian Karsten at Beaver Stadium, State College, Pennsylvania. Michigan State had been very sure-handed. They hadn't lost a fumble since the Michigan game way back in October, but they dropped one there thanks to the hit by Yeboah Cody and the recovery by Willie Smith. And now the offense has it back. First down from the 20. And Collins comes up fire to Bobby Ingram. And he ripped off 26 more yards on the pass play.
You really never get set against this Penn State offense. You think they're going to be able to run the counter play with Carter. They come out this time with 4 wide receivers, and they hit a square into Ingram. Freddie Scott the next time. Kyle Brady on a screen. Simple plays, nothing complicated about it, but they do continue to mix up that ball all over the field.
Gary Collins maybe had his shakiest game of the one we did against Indiana. Today he is sharp. 6 out of 7 and 124 and a touchdown. John Carter with a cutback to the middle. John Carter to the 33-yard line. Ike Reese somehow shoestringed him, or he would have been off to the races.
Defensive coordinator Henry Buller told us that the difference between college ball and pro ball, where he coached last year, was the poor tackling in the secondary. The Michigan State secondary right here does not do a good job of tackling this outstanding runner. He has such nice patience and body lean. He really doesn't make a lot of moves when a guy's going to try to tackle him. Kind of just lowers his body lean and just runs through those arm tackles.
John Carter came in averaging 7.7 a carry. Hasn't hurt the average today. Here's his replacement, Archie, who gets inside the 30 to the 28. John Carter, 9 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown. I'd say that's right on his average. Maybe just a shade better.
9 times 8 is 72.
There you go. That's what I said, just a little bit better.
Yeah, well, you know, I used to study so hard. Get your tables.
You got to
get your tables.
You got to get the timetables down at Purdue. It's a division that used to have problems with them. Those gazintas never work.
The 9s were always easy.
We've got 7:44 and the clock running. Penn State by a touchdown here in the second quarter. Collins whips it out to Archie. And read well. Nice stop by Carl Reeves, the outside linebacker. And it will force the 3rd and long. Mike Archer saying, Kerry, why'd you throw me that one? I lost 2 yards.
I'll tell you, this offense has to hurt the concessionaires here at Penn State Stadium. you don't ever want to take your eye off the field. I mean, it could be a touchdown any play.
Up to this point, their average scoring drive is 62 seconds today.
And it's really not just Michigan State's defense. I mean, it has been everyone. And really, the only people that stopped them all most of the game was Michigan.
3rd down and 9 for the Nittany Lions. Collins. Bobby Ingram. No flag. Fans wanted one. Ingram doesn't say anything. It was Demetrius Martin out there covering.
Demetrius Martin had a little hold up on the and a little push-off by Ingram that time, but you depend a little bit on a couple of poor throws. This is the first time that Kerry Collins had him. You see, it's man-to-man. He's got him all over the field. Sticks his hand out right there, but I think the ball was a little bit overthrown anyway. Demetrius Martin has a little smile. He knows he got away with one there.
They're going to give Brett Conway a chance for a long one. 49 yards. Conway, 9 of 11. His best is 39. On the way. Got a lot of leg and got it. Brett Conway, 49 yards. That's the best for him this year, and it's 24-14.
Very smooth kicker with his leg action that time. 49-yarder, somewhat into the wind. I don't think it's a big win in this football game, but it's a nice 10-point lead.
That's his career long for Brett Conway. Joe Paterno says, we'll take it. 3 more and a 10-point lead.
Guy's energy level is just unbelievable, isn't it?
Coming up, speaking of energy, week 13 of NFL Game Day in prime time. Chris Berman and an energetic gang tomorrow at noon Eastern for NFL Game Day. Then at 7, complete highlights and analysis on NFL prime time. And at 8 o'clock, Drew Bledsoe and the New England Patriots take on Marshall Faulk and the Indianapolis Colts. Both teams 5 and 6 in the AFC East. That's our 8 o'clock matchup tomorrow night right here on ESPN. As you can see, both those teams could stay in the hunt because Miami's come back to the pack a little bit. Boomer and the Jets have gotten warmed up. So an excellent conference race and a big game tomorrow night.
St. Louis doesn't even have a team, and they're in the hunt in the NFL.
Derek Mason, he's already taken one end zone to end zone today. They're trying to keep it out of his hands. He's going to get his hands on it anyway on the hop at the 9. Broke a couple tackles and across the 25. That's about the best they've been able to do against Derek Mason today. Let's check in with Mike Tirico. Michael.
Brad, Louisville had won 11 in a row at home before losing to Boston College, and A&M trying to close it out with a home win over Tulsa. Marty Lowe to Chris Fitzpatrick, 24 yards. Coach Schnellenberger's team up 11.
Here it's Paterno's team up 10. 7:19 left first half.
Michigan State wants to stay in this football game. They're going to at least have to take 4 or 5 minutes off the clock or score.
Wayne Goulburn outside. He got about 8 yards before he's knocked out of bounds.
Brad, remember earlier on that 3rd down play when Dozier did not keep taking it outside. That's what they need to do with that play. The sweep has been very effective from the split backfield, but to string it out and go for the sidelines has been where the positive yards are.
They'll give Goulburn 7. It'll bring up 2nd down at 3. With a football at the 33. Scott Green. First down run. Gelsheiser's got him wrapped up. But Scott Green's got another first down. There's a couple of guys playing hard, Green and Gelsheiser. Gelsheiser comes in. You talk to Jerry Sandusky, you say, where does this guy fit in at linebacker U? Where does he fit in with the Jack Hams and all those guys? And he really said, hey, he's a really good college football player, and that's about as far as he'll go. But when you look at his stats, he came in with 301 career tackles, second only to Greg Buttle. So he knows how to get around the football. There's Jerry.
Well, when you coach Jack Ham, it takes a lot of pressure.
That's true. Derek Mason. Hit out there by Tony Pittman. Tony's dad is sitting over next to us in the booth, and I got a little rise out of him. His son made a nice tackle out in the open field.
Got it. Michigan State has run that motion screen to the wide receiver twice already. It appears to be a very deep throw. Watch if they don't later in the football game set up that throw and throw a double pass off of it.
That was a lateral there.
Yes.
There's Tony Pittman, his dad Charlie, an All-American running back 25 years ago for Penn State. He's sitting over next to Gary in the booth to our right. Here's Goldberg, who broke a would-be tackle in the backfield, but he doesn't get away from Jason Collins. Adrian, what do you got?
Brad, an adjustment that came out of the last offensive series with Michigan State on the field. Sandusky said, look, guys, we've got to really string that sweep out to the sidelines. They're doing it perfectly the last 3 plays in a row here.
And that time it was Collins who made the hit, forces a 3rd down and long.
Brad Cioli, number 5, also made a penetration play and slowed it down.
3rd down and 8. Under 5.5 in the half. Banks, plenty of time. His receiver fell down, or that would have been a 1st down throw. Napoleon Outlaw lost his footing at about the 45-yard line, incomplete, and Michigan State's got to give it up.
Again, you watch so many of these games against one team as the underdog. If they just do things right, don't fall down, that's a 1st down. So many unforced errors from the team that is supposedly the team that has to play from behind.
From behind, Chris Solani with a punt. Mike Archie will wave at this one. Fair catch, and he mishandled it. Scooped up. Michigan State. Let's see, they're going to call it.
No, it's a muffed
It's
play.
a muff punt.
It will go right to the point where he got it.
Scooped up by Dante Hardy.
Well, they're saying they're wondering if it was even touched right now.
Oh, I think it was touched. Maybe not.
This will be close.
That's got to be Michigan State ball, doesn't it?
Well, why don't they just kind of have one of those meetings where they all get together now and determine this is a huge call in this game?
Timeout. I guess we'll have time to sort it out, huh? 5 minutes and 14 seconds left in the half. Reserve George Perlis on the Michigan State sideline. The ruling was that Mike Archie did not touch that punt after the fair catch was called for. Watch the trajectory of the ball appear to change as he tries to make this catch. Oh, I'd say he touched the ball.
I don't think there's any doubt he touched it. Came down, hit his hand, and changed the trajectory and spin of the football.
Penn State gets its 2nd huge break on a punt return situation. Earlier, it was Archie with his knee down, and then they ended up picking up a 20-yard return. That time, it looked to us, and obviously we have replay, but at live action speed, we thought it was touched as well. How about the officials? Adrian, what'd they say?
Brad, I am told by Tom Winter's staff, particularly the head line judge, that the ball was not touched. Therefore, Penn State retains possession, and now 2nd down.
Well, what else could they say?
That's right.
They can't. He touched it, but just a little bit.
Touch it just a little bit. We'll talk about it Monday, right?
Mike Archie's the only guy who really knows for sure.
2nd and 5 to John Carter. Hit by Matt Christensen.
32, Kijana Carter, the ball carrier. Stopped by 45, Matt Christensen.
Other scores from around the country on this basically final weekend of regular season play. Except in the Division II and III, 1AA, the playoff setup that a lot of people wish we would see at Division I, including Joe Paterno. But right now, his number 2 ranked Nittany Lions have a 10-point lead. Third and a yard. Kijana Carter, 1st down. Kijana Carter across the 35 onto the 36-yard line. 12 more. He might end up with 100 by halftime. Again, the 2 punt plays, Gary.
Yeah, the first one, remember, this is a 20-yard difference here. Mike Archie's going to catch the ball and put his right knee down just as he catches it. Ball should have been on the 30, ends up on the 50-yard line. That's really 20-yard difference. And, of course, right here, this ball that he misjudges, he touches it with his right hand. It's picked up by the Michigan State Spartans. Dante Hardy, outside linebacker, and that ball should have been Michigan State's right down to the 11-12-yard line.
Instead, Penn State with the ball, the lead, and the pass from Collins to Mill, not near the 40. And it was Damian Manson, the safety, who came up to make the hit. We're under 4 minutes first half. Penn State trying to keep their regular season mark unblemished. Michigan State wanting to win a final game for George Perlis. Joe Paterno, his 29th year as the head man, and maybe with his most potent offense ever. A lot of weapons for this group, and they can strike in a hurry, as they've done 3 times today. Collins off play fake, through behind Freddie Scott. Incomplete. Demetrius Martin out there covering.
Freddie Scott helps up Demetrius Martin on the play. He had a beat by about 4 or 5 yards. That ball was very poorly thrown, just misjudged by the quarterback. That's a timing type route where you have to really know when the receiver is going to make his break.
You've got to have a good quarterback throwing to a guy named Freddie Scott, though. That's the key. So you load it and you throw it just like that. What a tight spiral. Danielson to Freddie Scott.
This one right here, I remember this one. He ran the wrong route.
Yeah. Oh, nice catch, though. Ran the wrong route. There's 3 in a row for those guys. And here's Kerry Collins wanting to throw a screen. And Kajana Carter couldn't handle it. It went through his hands and hit Marco Rivera, the guard, between the numbers. And Penn State will have to punt. Are those the 3 passes you completed that year?
Those were
no, that was
3
a
of
good
the best.
season.
That was 3 of the best. Freddie Scott was a very, very intelligent, tough receiver. His young son, Freddie, is a much more gifted runner, very much quicker than Freddie was. He has the toughness that his dad did. He'll be a great football player.
Darrell Canny at a kick, and Scott Green back as the punt return man. Talk about having a fullback you like to utilize in different situations. Here's Scott Green on a punt return. Oh, he broke 1 tackle, then slipped on his own as he got up near the 34. He got about 8, though, out of the return.
By 47.
Joe Paterno, we talked about a lot of coaches would like to see some sort of playoff system, and Joe has never left a doubt as to where he stands on the issue. He is all for it.
I'm a playoff guy. I've said that 1,000 times. I like to coach. I like to compete. I like big games. I hope my squad does. We have a lot of fun playing football at Penn State. And this business about pressure and all that kind of stuff is all part of having fun. So I'm for playoff.
He'd be for a little defense right now. Tony Banks hooks up 29 yards to Scott Green again.
Tony Banks is having an outstanding football game where he's doing what he has to do at quarterback, but this guy is impressive. Fullback, taking it down the middle. He's returning punts. You know, he keeps up much better game than this. You could name him head coach.
They're looking for him. We'll talk about that more in the second half. Here, the Spartans in George Perlis' last hurrah, trying to tie it up before halftime. Dwayne Goulburn broke 1 tackle, then hit Gelsheiser. Bounced off. Willie Smith cleaned up.
It's that draw play that's really become a bigger feature of the Michigan State offense. Mark Birchmeier, their fine center, really does a nice job of standing up his guy and really manhandling. Birchmeier goes about 290 yards, 290 pounds, excuse me, really stands his man up and just tosses him around, letting Goulburn find the opening.
Goulburn 51 yards on the ground. Now it's Renaud. And Gelsheiser again with a stop, but I think Renaud got a first down.
I think before Mr. or Mrs. Oregon get too upset with me, we should really point out that holding penalty again was not on Bob Oregon. And when you're able to run the sweep, the tight end has to be involved. He's having an outstanding game, blocking the end of the line of scrimmage for the Spartans.
A monster of a tight end. 280 may be gracious as they list Bob Oregon at 280. Now the Spartans have moved it down to the 25 of Penn State. A minute and a half to go in the half. Banks over the middle. Now the Oregons have something to crow about.
This was a play that was designed to the tight end all the way. He was the only receiver. It's a tight end delay play. Let all the receivers go wide. Wait till the linebackers drop out of there. You just hit your tight end coming out there. Nice target. Hard to miss that guy.
Second down and 3 at the 18. Under a minute in the half. And a cutback. And now maybe you want to think about taking a timeout. Coach Perlis gets it called with 45 seconds left. Morris Watt says as soon as you get the play done, you have to look over here. We'll look over when we come back. 5 seconds left in the half. Penn State with a 10-point lead. Joe Paterno hoping his defense can come up with a stop. George Perlis obviously hoping for a 3rd and 2 pickup here by his offense. Power to the right, and that's the way they go, and they got it to the 10-yard line with Scott Green. 7 yards on the pickup. And Gary, you got to love what Michigan State's trying to do is use as much clock as they possibly can and not let Penn State get the football back even if they score.
That's absolutely key. They know that if Penn State gets the ball any time, there's potential to score again.
And now they'll ground it after they move the sticks. The clock started again and it took about 5 seconds off.
They still have plenty of time. 35 seconds with 2 timeouts is really plenty of time to score. And you're right. You know, to score with 7, 10, 11 seconds to go in the half would be the goal of Michigan State. Even if they just get a field goal here, I think they consider this first half a success. Of course, they want 7, but they got to at least get 3.
Penn State will take a timeout. Tony Banks will come to the sideline to talk to Morris Watts and George Perlis. Jerry Sandusky will have a chance to talk things over with Gelsheiser.
Jerry Sandusky, of course, we talked about the problems they had in the secondary, but they've also had problems with injuries at other key positions also. Eric Clare, defensive lineman, Vin Stewart, a defensive lineman. He counted on both not being able to play most of the year. It's been a troublesome year for a Penn State traditionally tough defense.
We're just 35 seconds away from halftime, and that's when we'll have the GMAC halftime report. Mike Tirico, Lee Corso, and Craig James will be along. Scores and highlights and analysis from around college football today, including the Seminole comeback. And I got to see some of those highlights because, as I said, Gary and I were trying to pay attention to that game until the 4th quarter started, and we thought it was history. And obviously, it wasn't. The football is right at the 10-yard line, so it is 2nd and goal. And Michigan State will have to earn all of that final 10 yards of pay dirt to try to cut this lead down to 3. They want a touchdown, but Gary said even a field goal would look good. Draw play, Goulburn. Goulburn got about 4. And timeout called by George Perlis. Jeff Perry made the tackle. Got it to the 6-yard line where it'll be 3rd and goal at the 6.
Came back again with the draw play. It's like a lead play. It's a running play. It's not the old type of draw where the linemen back up 4 or 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. They're trying to do is allow their linemen to set up, let the defense go the way they want to go, and then block them any way they want. New play that George Perlis says more and more teams on offense will continue to run as they get bigger and bigger offensive linemen.
28 seconds left, and Michigan State 1 timeout remaining. So here they go to the end zone, I would think, once, Gary, and then come in and kick the field goal if they don't make it.
Well, I wouldn't be shocked. You know, I assume that the Penn State will come with the blitz in this situation. They like to blitz. If they think it's that type of a call for Michigan State, I'd like to see Scott Green get his hands on the ball. I don't know if it's a swing pass type play or a draw.
Jerry Sandusky's only been here 27 years doing this.
He's going to wait to make his call until he sees Michigan State break the huddle so he knows that the call, the defense, and the personnel that's out there for Michigan State's offense.
The wideouts are Muhammad and Mason. 2 tight ends set.
Comes the blitz.
Banks fires behind Muhammad, the intended receiver. Atkins might have gotten a hand on that on the rush.
The way he had him, he just threw it a bit behind him that time. They had the play open, and boy, you could see Morris Watts. He said wide open. Something like that.
So the field goal is what they'll have to settle for. Chris Gardner, 13 of 20 on the year. This will be a 23-yarder with Chris Solani to hold. And he's got it up and good. With 20 seconds left. That's a problem. 20 seconds left for Penn State. 24-17 now with 20 ticks left first half. Good looking drive, but Michigan State just couldn't cap it with the 7 that they were looking for.
You don't think the crowd here at Penn State doesn't know what they're doing? 20 seconds to go, and no one's even going for anything to eat.
You're right. The concessionaires are struggling with this offense. We've got a chance to check in right now with Mike Tirico. Mike?
Since everyone's in their seat, we'll give them something to watch. Tennessee and Vanderbilt earlier today. James Stewart sweeping right, his 11th touchdown of the season, a 40-yarder. It's 7-0 Vols. Stewart breaks Tennessee's all-time rushing record, held by Johnny Jones with his 125-yard effort. Brandon Stewart passing to Kendrick Jones, 64-yard bomb. Short TD, right? Nah, Jones lost it at the 5. About the only thing that didn't go the Vols' way today is Tennessee wins 65-0 over Vanderbilt. Back to State College.
You hate when that happens, don't you? Nobody in front of you, very few people behind you, and you lost the ball.
Tony Makes has made a lot of good throws in this game. That was one he'd like to have back. Slant pass into the end zone, had the coverage, the call, exactly what they wanted. They anticipated the blitz. They brought in 2 tight ends. He just missed the pitch and catch.
Tony, 8 of 14, 102 yards and a touchdown today. Ambrose, Fletcher, and Mike Archie back deep.
Number 40, Brad Costello to kick off for Michigan State.
Costello to kick. And it's going to go out of bounds. So here's Penn State with no time taken off the clock at the 35-yard line.
That was a killer. They would need it at least for Penn State to take 8, 6, 7 seconds off the clock with the return.
The kicking team. Option is to take the ball at the 35. First down.
Couldn't ask for more than that.
Well, I like the strategy of squib kicking it. You just got to keep it between the white lines.
Yep.
Penn State now will probably come with 4 wideouts, and you'll see across it with 2 timeouts. They can really throw the ball anywhere on the field.
I wonder how many miles Joe Paterno has walked on that sideline over there in his career. There's our scoring drives for Penn State. That's why we said don't leave any time on the clock if you can help it. Collins, plenty of time. Deep out. Ingram out of bounds at the 46 at Michigan State. A pickup of 19 and 6 seconds used.
It'll be an upset if they don't get in very good position to kick a field goal.
And remember, Conway has his career long already today. They only need 1 more pass down the middle. They got 2 timeouts remaining.
Michigan State is aligning their safeties around the 20-yard line. They're conceding about a 15-yard pass. And, well, I tell you, with 14 seconds to go, you know they're going to be around the 30-yard line if they just play pitch and catch and don't drop it.
They hustle in a 3-wide receiver unit. Collins with some pressure down the middle. And incomplete, and usually Ingram makes that catch. It was a tough one, but we've seen him make a lot of those.
That was a tough one. Now the clock is in Michigan State's favor with 9 seconds to go. And Brian Eccles that time came across. This is a ball he goes up for, and it's slightly behind him. He turns, tries to shield it a little bit with his body, but you're right, Brad. That's one that he knows he can catch 9 times out of 10.
He made a catch against Ohio State one-handed going sideways like that. That was one of the best of the year. Collins has to hustle now and get rid of this thing just to give him a chance. Going deep sideline. It's intercepted. Picked off by Henry. And Henry has got a lot of room in front. Now the lateral. Ball's loose, and the half will come to an end right there.
I thought it was a good gamble that time.
Might as well. Last play of the half. Everybody knew that.
Intercepted by number 38, Peter Brazel. First half is over.
George Perlis has 2 more quarters to coach the Spartans of Michigan State. He's coached them a pretty good first half, that's for sure. But Joe Paterno's troops will head to the locker room, number 2 in the land, and up by 7, 24-17. State 24-17. Excellent ball game. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson back with you. Adrian Karsten's on the sidelines. Boy, a lot of fireworks there in that first half. You talked about Michigan State having to be opportunistic coming into the game. I guess they have been, but they haven't really paid off for them.
Well, no, they haven't had the breaks really go their way. Mike Archie puts his knee down on a punt, gets 20 extra yards on the play right there, sets up a Penn State touchdown. Then the muff punt that wasn't. This ball, as Mike Archie turns around, touches his right hand. Michigan State gathers the ball, but that didn't count. And then on a halfback pass from Mike Archie, Bobby Ingram, 2 missed tackles by Michigan State. So, you know, that Penn State offense has put some points on the board, but Michigan State hasn't had everything go with them. But the big kickoff return by Derek Mason really kept them in the football game. And I think that's why Michigan State's still in this game. There's 7 points from the special teams.
Special teams with a 100-yard kickoff return. As we take a look at the halftime statistics, look at Penn State. They've had the ball less than 11 minutes. They have 316 yards of offense.
Yeah, you can do the division on that one.
Well, they're getting about 30 yards a minute or something like that in the game.
That ain't bad.
They come in number 2 in the country only to Nevada, and if they go over 513 yards in this game, they'll be the number 1 offense in the land, which they have been much of the year.
And I think the big thing for Michigan State is a pretty good balance. Had enough passing yards to keep it honest against State defense.
Nittany Lions, first play of the third quarter. Kajana Carter. Got about 3. Let's check in with Adrian.
Perlis, as he was coming out of the tunnel, I talked to Coach Perlis, and I asked him what he had to do to win this game. He said, first of all, we've got to stop them from scoring on this series. That'll give us some more confidence. When we get the ball, then we've got to control the ball, because he thinks this game could then come down to the team that has the ball the last possible series. Most interesting thing, though, was he had his offensive linemen up there arm in arm. They're playing this one for George.
Yeah, they really need to stop Penn State. I agree 100% on the opening March third quarter. On second down, a counter to Kajana Carter. Well, they didn't stop it here. And they may not stop him at all. Knocked out of bounds, but not before he got down to the 30-yard line. 31 more yards. Kajana Carter, 131 on 14 carries today.
Milne, number 22, and Keith Conlon, number 53, lead the play this time. But you know, when you watch Carter play, you ever play those video games, Brad? Looks like Kajana Carter's playing with a 32-bit, and everybody else is on a 16-bit right here. He's just moving faster than everybody else.
Well, number 32 is biting up some yards. 131 on 14 carries. His 9th 100-plus of the season. His average way over that 7.7 per carry he came in with. And he's putting on a show today. He'll come left this time. Spins his way down near the 20. He might have 10 more before Damian Manson can bring him down. First down on the carry.
So difficult. 2 wideouts that can hurt you with the pass and the catch and the run. 20-yard average. You've got an offensive line that's as athletic as any in the Big Ten, maybe in the country for that matter. The guards, Hardings and Rivera, can really run. Conlon has showed you he can pull around as a tackle, and then maybe as good a running back as there is in college football.
Archie in to give Carter a breather. But they give it to Milne, the fullback. Brian Milne to the 1. Ball came loose. They'll blow it dead after 19 yards straight up the middle for Milne.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the fullback. Yeah. Brian Milne. This time they've been running the sweeps outside and power playing. This time they run a little inside trap. The right guard comes across, kicks out. Milne just gashes it in there that time behind a nice block by Andre Johnson, number 68. Gets down to the goal line, and that ball did come loose after his arm touched the ground. What a drive.
Didn't take them long to get down to the 1-yard line. A minute and a half into the quarter. So they're right about on their average for scoring drive.
And they've done it without a pass.
Whitman in at the fullback now with Kajana Carter getting the call for the touchdown. His 20th of the year. And they're starting to growl in Happy Valley.
That drive reminded me of an old, Friday, Thursday practice where the scout team is out there trying to give you a good picture and show you what Michigan State's defense would be doing, but they make sure they don't hurt anybody. Michigan State just never got in sync. Perfect blocking the whole drive. Every play was called and executed perfectly by Penn State. Michigan State never had a chance to even get set up.
As Adrian said, it was so key that George Perlis told his troops, we got to stop them on the opening drive of the third quarter. They do not. Conway cuts the extra point inside the left upright. And we're just a minute and 45 into quarter number 3. And a flag down as on the extra point, it is offside Michigan State.
See, anytime the band starts playing during the flag down, you just decline that every time.
And you just wipe it off and you put it on the kickoff.
So flag and a band at the same time and cancels each other out.
Side. On the defense. 5-yard penalty that will be assessed on the kickoff. The point is good.
And now Ron Winter, the referee, can strike up the band again. Ron. Kajana Carter from a yard, and it's Penn State by 14. ESPN's presentation of college football is brought to you by Dodge. The more things change, the more things look like the new Dodge. And by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. That's the Petit Library, where no doubt they have books about Penn State football. And the guy that's written so many great chapters, Joe Paterno. It's his house, looking for his 268th win. And,
well, for that matter, it's his library, too.
That's true. He puts all the dough into it. Kajana Carter's 20th touchdown moments to go has given the Nittany Lions a 14-point lead. Great kick.
Look at that. They had the 5-yard penalty on top of it.
Check in with Adrian Carson.
Well, Brad, Penn State coming out of their locker room now. Their defense, led by Gelsheiser, they realized they got away with a few breaks in the first half. Primary goal for these guys now is to stop Michigan State as quickly as their offense scores. No one has to tell them, they don't have any big names on this defensive unit. So, with a half football left in a couple weeks before the Rose Bowl, they really want to make a name for themselves now.
By the way, that last Penn State drive was their longest one of the day. It took them a minute and 45 seconds.
With no passes.
And now the crowd getting into it for the defense. No gain. Todd Atkins. Atkins had a big hit against Northwestern that caused a fumble that Kim Herring picked up, took 80 yards for a touchdown last week. And as we said, he had a key forced fumble last year and that big comeback by Penn State to beat Michigan State. They trailed by 20 points in that ball game and came back to win.
Yeah, in the third quarter, it was 37-13, and they won 38-37.
Here they've got the lead, 31-17. 2nd and 10 for Tony Banks. He's in trouble. That's a lateral. At least he got it in the hands of the right guy, but Scott Green only got back to the line of scrimmage, and it's Todd Atkins and Gelsheiser again.
I think Adrian was right, Brad. I think for Penn State to make a statement about trying to move, and be the #1 team in the country, the Penn State defense is going to have to show a lot of people that are watching this game that, this is not, in my mind, watching them play the last couple of years, it's not even an average defense. This is maybe a little bit below average defense with a super offense.
50% on the day for Michigan State on their third down. 3rd and 10. Banks over the middle. Scott Green. He'll get the first down and then some. Boy, what a game Scott Green's had. 16 yards on the pass play. Willie Smith made the tackle for Penn State's defense.
So Scott Green alone, that puts him at 109 yards rushing in the game and 118 yards passing in the game. He really is having a great game. 4 receptions for 68 yards, and he is really doing a great job of catching the ball and receiving the ball. 59 yards rushing, 68 yards passing, over 100 yards from your fullback/tailback.
And he had a punt return.
Yeah, that's right. He had a punt return, too. And he's up for player coach, too.
Goldberg. Not much.
Number 27, Dwayne Goldberg, the ball carrier.
Yaboa Cody.
Brian Miller did a nice job that time coming up from the secondary. A little bit of an adjustment by the Penn State defense and Jerry Sandusky That time they put their corners up near the line of scrimmage, played a 2-deep zone so those corners could help on that sweep play.
Yeboah Cody, who led the team in tackles in '92, and then some injuries curtailed much of his season last year, but showing that form again now. Good linebacking core, Smith, Yeboah Cody, and Gelsheiser. 2nd and 9, Michigan State.
Strong safety blitz.
Banks has plenty of time, though. Over the middle, too high, intended for Najee Carter. Coverage by Tony Pittman.
And good coverage that time. There was no safety in the middle of the field, so Pittman had his man all over the field, and that's strong coverage. Good job by Michigan State picking up this blitz. Strong safety's coming from the left side. Bob Orkin picks him up, and I'm not so sure if Gelsheiser didn't get a little tip on that ball. You see Yeboah Cody pick up the fullback coming out in the flat, Robert Dozier.
Jerry Sandusky hoping his team could stop a 3rd and 9. Fans are into it for the Nittany Lion defense. Banks. This time right on the mark. Derek Mason, he's been the big play man all over the place today, and he picks up 20 on that catch.
Derek Mason has come and emerged in the spot that Milt Coleman has played for the Michigan State Spartans. He's the guy that's making the big plays now that everyone thought that Milt Coleman would be making. Of course, he got hurt. You'll see this time Scotty Green picks up the blitz this time and helps out with the blocking. He's done it catching, he's done it running. This time he does it with picking up the blitz man, and a perfect throw from Tony Banks.
That it was. Moves it down to the 42-yard line of Penn State. They fake the draw. Banks comes up and rifles. Another one, it's intercepted. No, it's dropped. Brian Miller had it and lost it. Boy, and he was heading in the other direction in a hurry.
Well, I think Mushin Muhammad, I'm not sure he even knew what the route was that time. He was coming up and facing his man like he was going to block, and then all of a sudden he turned around. Tony Banks thought he was coming inside. Muhammad turns around, expects that ball a good 4 yards to the outside. That was a miscommunication because that was a fine throw. Banks threw that exactly where he wanted to.
A little bit of a break there for Michigan State, and that Miller couldn't hold the interception. 2nd and 10. And it's Tony Banks bootlegging out all by himself, and he keeps it. And he's got a 1st down to the 28-yard line.
This is a true naked. This was not the naked where you have a pass or someone slipping out in the flat. This was a naked that was designed as a run all the way. Fakes the sweep that has been so effective for Michigan State. It just comes out by himself. Now, that's a play that often quarterback doesn't even tell the team. He sees it after he hands off the ball, and he just does it on his own.
As you said, it's hard to judge sometimes with Tony Banks how fast he is because he's so tall and has such long strides. Those long strides got him a 1st down. Scott Green stumbles on takeoff, and his knee might have hit at the 30. Let's see where they put the ball down. Scott's so anxious to either catch it or run with it that sometimes he forgets to take his feet along with him.
It's like a designated hitter. You know, he comes in, he makes one play, and then he has to go out and explain to coach what he did, what he didn't do, and comes to the sideline.
Got back to the line of scrimmage.
Get good face time now.
Exactly. Michigan State this drive, taking it 50 yards down to the 28 of Penn State. Banks sidesteps, throws to the end zone. In and out of the hands, and a penalty marker down. Najee Carter had his hands on it. Tony Pittman there with it.
It was a face guarding all the way that time. Pittman never turned around, and that's why he's going to get called. But, you know, he may have saved the touchdown by doing that. He was beat. I'm a little hesitant to make this call, but I do think it's a 15-yard penalty because got burned last week by saying it was into the end zone. College, it'll be a 15-yard penalty.
Pass interference. Defense. Penalized. Pass the distance to the goal. Automatic 1st down.
They're on the 28-yard line, so this should end up on the 14. You'll see Pittman, he never turns around to see the ball right here. Has a little bit of contact and a push, and that's a very good call by the officials on that play.
First penalty against Penn State all day. And as Gary said, it puts it down with the tip of the ball just inside the 14. Michigan State 8th in the Big Ten as far as touchdowns once they get inside the opponent's red zone. Green and Renard are the setbacks for the Spartans, but they'll come up throwing. And it's Green. He'll score. He's done it all. Scott Green, touchdown, Michigan State.
Great call by Morris Watt that time. Watching up here, the last time that Michigan State got near the goal line, Penn State used a 9-man front. They did this time. He slipped the fullback out in the flat, gives it to his best guy, and they turn it into a touchdown. Scott Green, number 47, he's hot. If anybody comes, the ball has to go to him. You saw that blue shirt pass him? Get the ball to him. He turns it in the end zone. And as you said, he's making a one-man show. 5 receptions, a touchdown, and 82 yards for Scotty Green.
And he'll block on that left wing for the point after, which is up and good by Chris Gardner. So the crowd quiet momentarily. Joe Paterno's troops still in front, but the lead again has been cut to a touchdown. 9:27 to go in the third quarter in a high-scoring affair. This time it's Michigan State with a score. It's 31-24. Michigan State cuts into Penn State's lead. 31-24. Scott Green capping off the touchdown march of 80 yards in 10 plays. Perfect mix of pass and run. Scott Green on a 14-yard touchdown toss from Tony Banks.
You know, my head is going so fast from the right to the left.
Up and down the field.
Since Courier played Agassi, I haven't had to turn this much.
Here's the kick of Costello to Archie at the 6. Mike Archie across the 25 out to about the 27-yard line. So back comes Penn State. Kajana Carter, another big day for him. Couple of touchdowns. Here's where he's gone with it, Gary.
Well, you only have 4 different ways you can run, and he's doing pretty well in most areas. They got to work to the right side, but, you know, running that counter play to the right, that could just as easily off guard, off tackle is about the same. He's just effective no matter where he runs the ball, but most effective when he runs between the tackles.
1st and 10, Penn State. On its own 27-yard line. Collins off play action, deep middle, Freddie Scott. Got it. Slides out to the 48-yard line with a first down, Penn State. You know, pick up a 21.
I get the feeling, you know, who has the hot game is whoever he calls that has the hot game in his side. Carter could have the hot game if he gets the ball. Pitts could have the hot game if he has the ball. Mike Archie could have the hot game if he has the ball. And they haven't even used Kyle Brady, who might be drafted higher than anybody on this team.
Out to the 48-yard line in a hurry, as they do so often. And this time the counter goes nowhere. Nice play by Aaron Jackson, the nose man.
We talked to Henry Bulla what he thought was the key to stopping Penn State. He said we have to tackle well in the secondary, get a couple turnovers, but if we're going to stop them running the ball, our nose tackle has to make some plays. He said Michigan did the best job. Tony Henderson did a nice job of getting up the middle and stopping some plays, and Aaron Jackson finally come in and make a play in this game. You know, Aaron wants to make a few big plays here in the state of Pennsylvania, being a Pittsburgh native. He made one there, loss of 6, second down, 16. Collins got some pressure, but that's what he wanted. Screen pass to Archie, out to midfield, got back across the original line of scrimmage, and it'll bring up a third down and about 8.
75, Aaron Jackson. Third down.
Aaron Jackson back-to-back stops. That one, though, was successful, I think, for Penn State. They wanted to get it back into a situation on 3rd and about 8 or 9 where really any player they throw to now has the potential of picking up the first down.
You know, you talk about Kyle Brady maybe being the highest pick that Penn State will have in the pro draft. And other than that 41-yard catch he had earlier, he's been quiet.
Yep.
3rd down and 8, Penn State from midfield. Delayed blitz coming on Collins. Double pumps and rifles it, completes it to Ingram. First down at the 34-yard line. Demetrius Martin may have slipped down a little bit, but Ingram gets 16.
Great job by Kerry Collins that time. He wanted to go left to Kyle Brady that time, but Spartans had him covered to the outside, and he comes back knowing he's got Ingram. Watch him go left, 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 then he turns to his right, rips the ball into Ingram on a hook play. The key to that, Michigan State, no pressure on the quarterback. Collins was able to turn twice and find different receivers. It really his 3rd guy he went to.
Penn State's only been sacked. Collins has only been sacked 5 times this year. So nobody's got too much pressure on him. Now Carter to the 29.
32, Jonathan Carter, the ball carrier.
Yeah, I had read stats about Nebraska that they are going into this game with only 4 sacks, and they were allotting their offensive line. Well, Penn State probably throws the ball maybe twice as much as Nebraska is my guess, and they only have 5 for the whole year. So you can tell what type of pass protection and how well Kerry Collins does at getting that ball out of his hands when he senses pressure.
2nd and 5 for the Nittany Lions with 6:45 left, third quarter.
Hot balance right, they didn't like it a run.
With Kajana Carter. Brought down by Damian Manson. Aaron Jackson and those men got out there to help as well.
Fran Ganter has been saying that Kajana Carter's thumb is still not 100%, and through this second half, it has appeared that he's been, getting up a little slowly, but this time it's going to be Michigan State player Juan Hammonds that's getting up slowly, and he's been hurt a little bit also. They need him to be healthy. He hasn't practiced in 2 weeks.
Hammonds, their defensive captain, down.
He has had a bad knee and hasn't practiced going into this game. They were hoping he'd be able to go at least 80-90%.
One of the very vocal players when the announcement was made that George Perlis would not return as coach, and he said, hey, he gave me a chance. This is a kid that was a Prop 48 student and now is 8 hours short of graduation. And those kind of guys, you know what George Perlis has meant to somebody like Juan Hammonds.
I think if you went through top to bottom of this roster, and there's a lot of coaches when they're getting fired, a lot of guys say things publicly about their coach that sound pretty good. And I think if you talk to every man on this football team privately what they think of George Perlis, I think you'd hear nothing but platitudes about him. He really is liked by his football team.
Penn State batting 500 on their third down conversion. 3rd and 4 here. And they might get a free 5 on the count by Kerry Collins. Change the cadence up just enough.
Keeney Allen, a part-time linebacker and sometimes nose tackle, is the guy that jumped off that time, I believe.
This will be a Penn State first down.
Dead ball. Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
Again, Keeney Allen right there. Towel coming right down from behind. He's going to jump and touches the center, and that's all it was. Is they had a stunt going on that time with Aaron Jackson, number 75, coming around.
So automatic first down to the 23-yard line.
See those hand signals? Sometimes they mean nothing.
Kajana Carter on a little delay. Got about 3. Keeney Allen hit him low. And Reggie Garnett made sure he got no further. Kajana Carter quietly putting a 145-yard day together. Just another day at the office.
Really? Of course, we were talking about Kyle Brady maybe going the highest. That, Kajana Carter just a junior, and really don't want to get involved.
We were going senior eligible with our comments.
And the scary thing is there's only 3 seniors on this offense.
Here's one of them. Collins rifles it, completes it down near the 10-yard line of Bobby Ingram again. And Ingram now 6 catches on the day, way over 100 yards, and he has a touchdown.
A lot of people question whether Kerry Collins' motion is a little bit different. Seems a little loose in his motion, kind of winds up occasionally. But talking to Fran Ganter, he's convinced that he has all the attributes to be as good as anyone in the NFL. He said, I don't know for sure, but I can tell you that, Kerry Collins gets rid of the ball as fast as he has to and as strong and as big as anybody that he's seen, obviously, and makes a lot of good decisions.
And completes more passes than anybody else ever has in a single season, as you saw. Kajana Carter cuts inside the 5. He's down to the 3, maybe even the 2.
Let's see. Agassi held service. Now Courier's coming back, and it looks to be like they'll hold serve. You just don't. Right. When you play on this fast surface, you don't get those long rallies that you do when you play on the clay courts. When it's busting service, it's a lot more easy to do.
Football just inside the 3-yard line. Second and goal, 2 tight ends set.
In this situation, Penn State has not even needed more than one play to score. They've just been walking into the end zone in these situations.
Let's see if it's match point from the 3. Yep. Touchdown, Kajana Carter, his 3rd of the day.
Well, Brad, I don't know if it's match point, but it sure did they just keep answering no matter what the other team does on offense. The other team just comes back out and scores again. It has to be frustrating to be a defensive football player in college football right now. It seems like the offenses are in total control. Again, Kajana Carter, and if I'm not mistaken, that's the 4th time that they've had a play where they've lined up and that's inside the 5-yard line. They just powered it into the end zone, not even needed 2 plays to do it.
Kajana looked a little bit tired as he headed to the sideline, but he takes with him his 21st touchdown of the season, and Conway's extra point is good. Long day for Kajana, but we still have a long way to go. 38-24, Penn State. Kajana Carter's 3rd touchdown has made it 38-24. He caps a scoring drive, 73 yards in 10 plays, but hey, wait a minute, what is that?
5:05, they got to have an investigation on that, huh?
That drive longer than the other 4 drives put together. That's kind of odd for Penn State to take them 5 minutes to score. Kajana with that brand new haircut. Every Friday he cuts his own hair, makes sure it's nice and shiny like that. It started when he was a freshman. He says the seniors cut my hair like that back when I was a freshman. I decided I'd do it myself instead of letting them do it every Friday. Kick. Mark Renata to 4. Ooh, nice hit. Out of the 22 by the special teams, Chino Prater. Let's check in with Adrian Karsten.
Brad, I'm with the athletic director of Michigan State University, Marilee Dean Baker. Marilee, question now. You've been involved with the George Perlis firing. You actually called for his dismissal a year ago. What was the problem you saw then that the rest of the university is now agreeing to?
Well, Adrian, the real problem is that we're simply not getting the performance at the success levels that we feel we need to have at Michigan State, and sometimes you need to make changes in order to have that occur.
Has a search committee been formed to name a new coach, and when can we expect that naming a new coach?
Well, we're well into the process, as you might suspect, but like all transitions, you deal with the present and you deal with the future at the same time. Today, we're focusing on the present. Tomorrow, we'll deal with the future.
Okay, now, Coach still has 3 years remaining on a 10-year contract. He assumes because he wants to coach and you don't want him to, this is breach of contract. Now, where does the university stand on that?
Well, I think often when you change a coach before his contract is up, it means that lawyers for both sides get into negotiating the buyout, and that's exactly what's happening now. The 2 sets of lawyers will work on negotiating that change.
Marilee, very honestly, there are those who believe that some of his dismissal was involved between a rapport situation between the 2 of you that wasn't very good. Is there truth to that?
Well, I think that was a highly press over-related situation. George and I are doing just fine. And George Perlis has made some tremendous contributions at Michigan State. He's had a very long tenure of 12 years, and we're simply changing chapters.
What will the expectations of the new coach be?
Guess what? We would like to go to the Rose Bowl instead of Penn State.
Marilee Dean Baker, thank you very much for your time. Brad?
George Perlis won a Rose Bowl back to end the '87 season. Right now his team's down 14 out of 3rd and almost 3. Dwayne Goldburn's going to really have to hustle. Nice open field stop by Jason Collins, and he's had several today.
Had to be a busted assignment by the wide receiver. The strong safety came up and supported. They did not put anyone on him that time. That's the first time I've seen Michigan State try to run outside and did not block. Senior Bowl Cody, number 43. He gets blocked by the fullback Dozier, but here comes number 8, the free safety. Where's the wide receiver who should have been blocking that man?
Chris Solani to punt. Mike Archie back off the side of Solani's foot. A slice of Solani, I guess you call that one. And it rolls dead at the 39-yard line. Well, of course, we heard from Marilee Dean Baker, the AD at Michigan State moments ago with Adrian. George Perlis for 2 years was the athletic director at Michigan State. Did he have any regrets about having that job involved with coaching?
If I'd known the controversy that came out of accepting the post as athletic director, I would have gone to the pros and not flirted with that. I had no way of knowing, and as it turns out, That was the root that got everything stirred up.
Of course, the job opportunities in the pros were from the Green Bay Packers and the New York Jets. Collins down the middle to Ingram. First down at the 46 of Michigan State.
And when we were talking to George yesterday, as Penn State offense is doing what they've been doing all game, you know, he seemed to say, looking back, is, you know, the toughest thing was competing with the way I started out. Went down with a little bit of a dip when we was looking at the two pro teams. Was never really able to gain the confidence of the alumni and the students that the program could be rebuilt again quickly.
Exactly. Whistles will stop this play with 2:03 left in the quarter.
And you know, in talking about the naming of the new coach, people that I've talked to said it will happen this coming week.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat the down.
And then lastly, when you talk about George Perlis, he said that he would still like to coach. And if the right job came around, and he would like to be a head coach, and he would not mind still coaching at the college level if he could find a job that would make a run at him.
He said, you know, don't get me wrong. He said, people have said I bleed green. He said, that's a bunch of baloney. He said, after all the years, you get cut a few times, it does get green, but he said he would coach somewhere else if that possibility arose. Collins, middle screen to Carter, broken up and covered by Juan Hammond, but I think it's going to be an incomplete pass.
A little bit of a shuffle screen inside, and some of the plays I think now that Fran Ganner's starting to call, as he was kind of kidding when we were talking to him yesterday, saying, you know, our guys are always upset because we don't use all the plays we practice, but so far everything has gone so smoothly. I've really not even had to run my whole offense yet.
Fran said, they say, hey, Coach, we've been doing this stuff since August. When can we use it?
I think when you really still look down, though, only 3 seniors on this offense. That really is incredible.
Blitz coming on Collins. Stands tall and goes to Freddie Scott, and Freddie drops it.
I wonder if Demetrius Martin, his hand didn't go across, and Freddie Scott lost that one in the lights or something. Since Freddie's a friend of the family, I'm going to try to come up with something right here. See if number 21, he does come across. That hits him right in the chest. And Freddie, I'm helping you as best I can. But this one, you know, I think his dad catches that one.
Yeah. He didn't drop those back in the Lion locker room when he was 4 years old or whatever.
No, I've thrown to young Freddie.
Third down and 15. Michigan State, big stop here. They can force a punt, get the ball back, trailing by 2 touchdowns. But they go right back to Freddie Scott. And this one he holds on to the 29. Wow. Yeah.
Freddie, just a sophomore eligibility-wise out of Detroit Country Day, the same school that Chris Webber went to. Comes across with the same type of a throw, man-to-man coverage, 2 free safeties. You know, but you have to give the credit again to the quarterback. Putting that ball on the line, right on the money, and, you know, he lowered it that time. The last one was a little high. It really just touched the top of the 3. This one hit the middle of the 3. Freddie comes back and makes the point.
Freddie with 5 catches for 89 yards now. And Ingram's had a huge day. So you know Collins has as well. And here's Mill, the fullback. They go right, they go left, they go right and left with their wide receivers, and all of a sudden the fullback finds himself with about 8 yards of bulldozing action up the middle.
Brad, after watching Penn State a couple times, we're ready to do whack football at any time.
That's right. We got a lot of points. Hank Bullitt doesn't like to see that many points put up. His defense came in
they were
doing a nice job against the pass, but they have given up chunks of yardage in the Big Ten on the ground this year, and one kind of feeds the other. You're not quite sure if their pass defense is good or their rush defense is no good. John Carter, he draws the crowd, and he's still got inside the 20. I think he might get a first down. Very close to it. Reggie Garnett in on the tackle.
Really amazing. You watch a Penn State and run the ball up and down the field. Michigan State has their defensive line, so Reggie Garnett, their middle linebacker, basically makes a lot of plays. You hardly have his name called in this type of a game. They're so wide open with their attack.
I don't think that John Carter liked the spot too much, but they're going to bring the chains from the far side and see if it's a first down. And it's a couple chain links. Actually, just a couple of pieces of tape. The two hooks and the tape.
Looked like they were taped together. I wonder if that's 10 yards, 2 inches right there.
Yeah, they're checking that right now. Ron Winter's saying, wait a minute, is there another loop in between there we don't know about? So we'll call it 3rd down and 3 links. Is that chain working, Adrian, down there?
Well, only as strong as its weakest link. Earlier in the game, guys, I was actually standing next to the play on the far side of the field, and the guys rolled right over the top of it. The thing busted. Everyone's looking at each other. How are we going to fix it? Tape it. What else are you doing?
There you go. That's what we do up in the booth, too. We're always looking for that tape. We got rolls of tape laying all over a place up here. 3rd down, 3 links. 20 seconds left. 3rd quarter. Collins, I'd say he got about 12 links, at least.
Looks like he fumbled the snap a bit, a little off balance, but he is so strong, he was able to push forward.
1st down, Nittany Lions. Probably the last play they'll run this quarter. As their big quarterback, 6'5", 235. Picks up the 1st down on the sneak.
Terry Collins' career started a bit slowly at Penn State, dueling with John Sack, who had since transferred to East Kentucky. It broke his finger playing volleyball that really set him back the most. But ever since that Michigan State game last year, he's been on a roll.
And Penn State at the end of 3 quarters on a roll. 2nd-ranked Penn State with 15 minutes away from a perfect regular season. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Adrian Carson. State College, Pennsylvania, Penn State 38-24, and that man in his final 15 minutes of coaching the sideline of Michigan State. Joe Paterno looking for his 7th untied season. Penn State's known what to do with it when they got inside the 20 today. At the 19, 1st down. Kajana Carter. All the way to the 1. Callender and Reese saved a touchdown. 18 more yards for Kajana Carter, and he's up at 176 on the day.
Now, he's making a run at it. And I think you got to wonder if he could run his way right into the top 2 or 3 in the Heisman Trophy, if not steal it as an undefeated leader of this football team right now. You know, I love to try to draw comparisons against guys who used to run and the way he runs. And, you know, when I watch him run, he reminds me of Billy Sims, the way Billy Sims used to lean forward and hit and deliver balls, slashing type runner.
Let's see if they give Kajana a chance for his 4th touchdown of the day. Yes, he's in. Touchdown. A 4-touchdown day, Kajana Carter.
As he claps to the fans in the end zone right there.
That matches his career high that he set against Ohio State.
And I think for Kajana Carter, the big game here, he ought to somehow come overthink his defense for letting Michigan State stay in the game so he could carry the ball. John Whitman, number 38, seals off a pretty nice block. He's been doing it all game, and Kajana Carter finds his way into the end zone.
Conway, that missed half step, but he still drills it through.
Well, he was in motion. He was moving towards the line of scrimmage before the snap.
45-24. Roses are indeed red. This one is starting to smell like it's going to be a Penn State victory. For Joe Paterno, he's been to them all as far as the major bowls. His victory garden looks like this. You water one, you win 3 Orange Bowls. You move over, you smile, you water one. Why not a little bit of sugar? That was a national championship. Water another one. Up goes the cotton twice. One more time. The Rose, would that be nice? And that's not even counting the Fiesta Bowls. And if Joe wins the Rose, he would become the first coach in the history of NCAA college football to win all 4 major bowls. There have been some guys that have been to those bowl games, but nobody's come home with a top prize in all 4. Joe's Diner, huh? to John Carter with that fresh haircut and 4 touchdowns on the day.
Yeah, you talk about a guy that's hot. He's hot.
Conway's kick taken by Renaud at the goal line. And knocked down as he got to the 18. Second big tackle by Prater on special teams today.
Renaud did not stay with his wedge that time. He went outside the wedge. He wasn't patient with it, and he paid the price.
When you're hot, you're hot.
I tell you, I can see the hair growing back. He needs to shave it half an eye. That's either the moon or that is a hot man right there.
The only thing that's been shining more than his head is his performance today. And now the defense starting to get in the act. Vin Stewart, who's been out with an injury much of the season, back in there, and he raises a little havoc.
Well, the possibility also exists that they could get Eric Clare back, their fine defensive tackle for the Rose Bowl game. Also, Clint Holes, really their starting hero back at the beginning of the year, too. So, you know, you wonder if they could get a couple more guys, if they might plug a few holes in this defense.
And you wonder how much defense Rich Brooks' Oregon Ducks can come up to stop this crew. 2nd and 11. Goldberg. Nope. Back to the line of scrimmage if he's lucky. Jason Collins has played very well on that hero spot.
I think the air is really going out of Michigan State. This is just too tough of an offense, and it's starting to affect their defense right now. Yeboah Cody having a good football game this time. He's going to slide off the block, play it to the outside, gets away from Dozier, who tried to hold him, but Yeboah Cody makes the play.
Now Penn State will pin their ears back a little bit, try to heat up Tony Banks on a 3rd down and 12.
Here they come.
Here they come. He got away from one and lets it go. He's got Mason out there and a flag down. Tony Pittman, I think, had some illegal contact with Mason downfield.
Tony Banks did a nice job of avoiding the blitz that time and getting away from it. I think it was Willie Smith, the outside linebacker, that came in free, untouched, and Banks was able to dodge him, but I think Pittman did get a little shove right at the end of that play.
Pass interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Right-hand side of your screen, number 24. You can see him playing inside technique right there. The shove is going to come right off the 50-yard line right there. Had he not shoved it, that ball would have been completed right there. He could have got back and made that play.
So it's way downfield, but obviously the spot is not there. It's back at the 31-yard line.
Derek Benson makes that catch without the shove. That ball was catchable.
First down, Spartans. Off-play action on first down. It's Banks who comes up firing. Oh, nice pass.
Man, he could throw the ball.
Yep. Got that one out to Muhammad for 22 yards in a hurry.
Talking to Morris Watts about Tony Banks, he said he just wasn't ready at the beginning of the year. He came from a junior college program where he just basically scrambled around the field and made throws, and really getting them into the offense and getting them to learn what he can do and what he can't do. He has the arm, and he'll be a fine quarterback for whoever coaches him next year and be a valuable asset to the team, but he wasn't ready at the beginning of this year.
Junior college All-American last year, and today some pretty good numbers Tony's put up. At the 47, first down, throws a quick out.
You got to have quick hands to catch it.
Gia Carter caught the back of that ball, I think. It was heading to the sideline. Picked up about 5.
He's excited about that call, isn't he? He said, talking about his team, you know, we do everything right, just no one makes any plays on this defense. Don't get any interceptions, we don't cause any big sacks, we just play our position.
Yeah, when your offense is putting up 50 points a game, that helps.
Yeah. Very upset with himself. He had Napoleon Outlaw wide open again on a hitch to the wide side, and that one just sailed high.
The outlaw Josie Wales couldn't have caught that one.
Well, he hit that Nolan Ryan fastball going on that one, high and inside.
3rd and 5. With 12:48 left in the ball game. 3 wide receiver group will be on the field. At the 42 of Penn State. They'll blitz Banks. He got around it again. Now nowhere to hide. He got away again. And down goes the ball. Jeff Perry covered it. Tony Banks could run, but he couldn't hide. Gelbheiser's the guy that forced the fumble.
As soon as you see the officials throw the bags, you know it's a fumble, and his knee wasn't down. Banks was able to elude a couple rushers again, but had that ball flopping around his right hand, didn't protect it, and ended up getting the fumble on it. You see him dodge to his right. First he went to his left, then his back to his right. And as he tries to come up inside, you see the ball rip through, close to having his knee down on that play, but called it turnover and a fumble.
And it gives it back to the Penn State offense at the 44-yard line. Collins on play action. He wants a home run ball. Going long. Man out there. He's got it. Freddie Scott. Touchdown. The 6th time this year on the first play following an opponent turnover that Penn State has scored a touchdown.
We're well off this play. I thought that ball was overthrown. Freddie Scott accelerated, caught it with his arms completely stretched out. A beautiful play.
Another one-play scoring drive. Conway for the point after. The stadium's rocking. You can tell by our end zone camera. It's up and good. 12:28 left in the game. The top scoring team in the country has put 52 up. ESPN's presentation of college football is brought to you by Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right. And by Wrangler, the most comfortable jeans known to man. You look in on the corner room, restaurant on the corner of Allen and College Streets downtown. And Joe Pa, the Joe Pa mask. This was right down in front of us a couple of moments ago. Kerry Collins hooks up with Freddie Scott. 56 yards and a touchdown, and Kajana Carter gets his vote for #1.
I think the Penn State guys are remembering that they dropped once in the poll when they didn't have a great win by a lot of points.
Did the same happen in Nebraska yesterday?
Well, we're getting lobbied by the fans in front of us. I can tell you that right now.
No doubt about that.
Fumble.
Got back on top of it himself. 9-second scoring drive in one play. And again, when you start talking about one-play scoring drives after turnovers, and they don't come much prettier than the last one we just saw.
Well, Stan Callender had Freddie Scott man-to-man to the outside. Just a streak right to the outside. But don't see if you could tell that he accelerates to the ball. Watch how he runs right through it, catches it with his arms outstretched, and just goes into the end zone. That's as nice as you can throw a ball, but you have that type of 4.4, 4.35 speed and be able to catch like that. 2 wide receivers like that, I don't think you've seen in college football in a while with a tight end to match.
Penn State has shattered their own school record and the Big Ten single-season record for scoring. And 52 points up on the board today. And what was a close game, really, until a couple of minutes ago, it seems like. And it's easy to say that because it doesn't take Penn State minutes to score. It takes them seconds sometimes to score.
Michigan State just does not have enough power with their offense to match this type of a scoring. It just puts too much pressure on your offense. No one in the Big Ten this year has been able to match these guys.
Michigan State now has to work from its own 13-yard line. Scott Green, boy, he's done his job today. Goes out for 9 or 10 before he ran into Brian Miller.
He just looks fast.
Yep.
He just plays really. He is a very, very accomplished tailback, and I think he's going to be a real featured part of this offense next year for Michigan State.
He and Mike Allstott at Purdue, two key fullbacks in the Big Ten.
Right. But right now, and Allstott towards the end of the year was playing a lot of tailback also, but I think he looks better at tailback than he does at fullback for Michigan State.
149 total yards today for Scott Green, catching rather, and running. Came up just a little bit short. He's again got those. That's a 4-link. That's 3 links and the piece of tape.
But it's a completely different call with 4 links instead of 3 links.
It is. You got to go different on your chart.
Yeah, you got to go. It's a whole different 3 different plays you use there. You got to spread out the team when you're 4 links.
Second down and inches. Green in trouble. Got away from 2 guys, but he still loses about a yard. Then Stewart and Chris Snyder.
Good defensive charge that time by Penn State on that short yardage play. There was nothing to go right that time, and Green was very lucky he didn't lose 4 yards on the play.
Gelsheiser getting the call from the sideline. Led the team in tackles last year, leading them again this year. Third down, and now they've got to earn it all. This is a full yard. Draw play to Green. He's got the first. Across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Willie Smith in on the tackle.
When you talk to some of the coaches in the Big Ten, they feel that Penn State is going to be very tough to match in this Big Ten conference. They're really not near a lot of other teams that they recruit for similar guys. When you've got Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, and Notre Dame, they're all fighting for the same guys in that area. Penn State almost has a draft out here in the East for their players. They can just about take whoever they want, and a lot of people don't know if the rest of the Big Ten will ever be able to compete with these guys.
First down, Renaud, and he rambles out across the 40 to the 41. Got about 14, 15 on the carry.
Mark Renaud is a redshirt freshman. That guy right there is probably a first-round draft choice as a quarterback. And he just quietly keeps putting the ball. Well, I don't know how quiet it is. If I was throwing like that, I'd be ecstatic. But he just keeps putting the ball in the right spot. And we talked about the weapons and the running back. But when he elevated his play last year, that's what made this offense so dynamic.
First down run by Renaud out to the 41-yard line. Gia Carter in motion on first down. And now it's Renaud again on a cutback. Brought down by Mazik after he got about 3. We're down to 10:40 left in the game. Gary, I tell you, Penn State has given up a lot of yardage. If their defense was better than what they field this year, I think this is as fine a team as I've ever seen. I mean, their offense is great.
I think everyone in the Big Ten, the coaches that have watched them, say that this is the best offense they've ever seen in the Big Ten. And you got to go back when we're thinking about those Ohio State football teams with Rex Kern and some of the great offenses that they put together. But this is a way more explosive team.
But see, they give up the yards, as you see there. Renaud goes running through as Willie Smith brings him down, but Renaud picks up 14. And as you saw Jerry Sandusky, defensive coordinator on the sideline, we said, Jerry, there have been years when you've carried the team. The defense has carried the team. He said, yeah, but those weren't undefeated years necessarily.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't know if the way with the scholarship limits going down to 85, you just don't have that many guys where you can give scholarships to an inside linebacker. You got to go in there and grab the best athletes available, and the worst guys end up on defense. Because your specialists you have to have.
I guess it doesn't matter if you can outscore them, and Penn State can outscore them. Green.
He's got quick feet. I'll tell you, he just makes people off balance the whole time he's got the ball.
Weighs 230 pounds.
And the referee thinks he plays such a nice game, he even helps him out.
Michigan State came in 5-5, having won their last 3 games, but they have run into a second-ranked buzzsaw here in Penn State.
Well, I'm still rooting for everyone, about 3 or 4 teams or whatever. They got Alabama, Nebraska, and Penn State. I hope they all end up on defeat, even after their bowl game. Maybe that'll force a playoff down there.
Renaud cuts outside. flags down. I think we're going to have a holding call.
Either Brian DeMarco's holding them or they got their face masks caught with each other. Jeff Perry says, isn't it holding? He says, all I can do is throw the flag, son.
Brandon Noble's the guy that got buried. A defensive tackle.
DeMarco, one of the few married players for the Michigan State football team.
We talked about the bowl poll coming in, Nebraska #1, but remember, they struggled with Oklahoma. And as Gary said, Penn State saw earlier in the year when they had a game that...
Well, it was the Indiana game.
It was the Indiana game we had, in fact, when really the score was not indicative of that one. And they saw #1 become #2. And now they're starting to put a throttle here down on Michigan State. And will that be enough to hurdle Nebraska?
I think Michigan State and Oklahoma are comparable teams this year also. We saw Oklahoma against a fine Colorado team, but I think Oklahoma and Michigan State are very comparable teams. And you got to give credit to Penn State. They've come out here ready to show everyone what type of team they have.
Of course, unbeaten Alabama has to get by Florida in the SEC championship game in Atlanta next week after being tied today in that great Florida State comeback. On 2nd and 17, Banks going up on top. Derek Mason made the catch.
That was a big-time catch there.
He's had a big-time game. Mason and Green and Banks, for that matter. Tony Banks has played very well. 39 yards on that pass play.
Well, Mason has been involved. There's been so many kickoffs, they've had to take him off the kickoff team. He's too tired to run kickoffs. This time, right in between Brian Miller and Jason Collins. And again, you know, neither one of those secondary guys did a good job of going up and playing the ball. Mason did an excellent job of timing it. Gets back. Come on. Defensive backs have to jump and time that play and make the play. Mason goes up, comes down with a big play. The ball was thrown into coverage.
Derek's got 3 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown, and he's got a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Well, they tried that naked bootleg thing again, and this time nothing doing. Jeff Perry was there to meet Banks.
Yeah, it was a naked bootleg. Got Calvin's pants down for sure that time.
At least partially naked.
Yeah. You can be naked, but you can't leave your own bathroom in those type of situations.
Kind of an NYPD Blues play there.
You got to have make sure what you're doing. When you're running around naked, you got to make sure what you're doing.
Loss of 4. 2nd and goal now at the 13. Get it, Scott Green's hand. Green. But they only got to the 11. Gelsheiser made the tackle.
Really like Scott Green anticipates the catch and moves as he's catching the ball.
What are you thinking where the next move
Absolutely,
is? Right?
You can feel that pressure coming in. This time from the inside, he's going to feel Jason Collins comes, catches and moves at the same time. Almost like a good, soccer player, a hockey player. He gets the puck or gets the ball and is moving when he does it.
3rd and goal now at the 11. And the Spartans will have to come in with their 3 wide receiver look. 2 to the near side and Carter to the top of your screen. Here comes a blitz from Willie Smith. Banks got away from it. To the end zone. Touchdown. Muhammad.
Willie Smith has a shot 3 times in the game. You think he's going to learn once that Tony Banks is going to spin out of it the other way. Nice job by Tony Banks on that play. Again, I don't know what's with the protection on that play, but again, he came clear. You wonder if he's not reading it right, and he's supposed to throw hot to that side because no one has been picking up that weak side blitz, and it's kind of dangerous when you're not even looking at it and it's coming from the backside.
I thought we'd have a little offense today, but I wasn't thinking 52-31. Chris Gardner, high snap, handled by Collins. Or Solani, rather. Tony Banks has thrown 3 touchdown passes today. The last one to that man, but it's still 52-31. 100 points before we send it down there. 52-31, 6:50 left in the game. Penn State on its way to a perfect regular season. Willie Smith, the man who came on the blitz and had Tony Banks in his sights. But Tony made a nice move to get away to throw the touchdown pass to Muhammad, who will come down on the kick team.
I agree with going for the onside kick. What difference does it make where you give Penn State the ball? They're going to score anyway. You might as well try to get it back.
And they'll knock one down the middle. It got out of bounds. Boy, that was close. Flying down there, that's a live ball, and about 3 yards away from the ball finally going out of bounds was a Michigan State player, but he couldn't get there in time.
I think it really was a bust by the offensive line. Either Birchmeyer, Cronin, and Hannon should have turned out for that linebacker, Smith, coming in there. And a nice job by Tony Banks to come out of it. Looking at it from behind right there, you see the center stay in the middle of the picture. Should have turned out. One of these 3 guys should have turned out and blocked the guy.
Tony Banks, 19 of 28, and that's his 3rd touchdown right there. 252 yards on the day. So first down at the 35 for the Nittany Lions with the kickoff having gone out of bounds. Freddie Scott in motion. Here's the counter. Johnny Carter wrapped up this time. Going nowhere. No gain on the play. Aaron Jackson, one of the first to meet him. Hammonds and Allen are there too. Johnny Carter, a 4-touchdown day. And on the ground, 177 yards. So he's made his statement.
And a curtain call for some of the big guys. Collins going out, Ingram going out.
Wally Richardson coming in. Kerry Collins day and home and regular season here at Happy Valley is apparently over. Milne, and he's hit immediately. So it's going to bring up 3rd down at 10, maybe even 11. Dale Person in on the tackle.
John Carter taking himself out.
John Capoletti won that award here at Penn State at 73. Rashaan Salam with a 2000 season. Steve McNair with so many yards for Alcorn State. Kajana Carr. How about Jay Barker, Alabama? He's only lost 1 game in his career, for crying out loud. The Heisman Trophy race. McNair, all-time career leader in total offense. Jay Barker, 34 1-1. Kerry Collins, 20 touchdowns. The #1 rated passer in the country by far. And then Kajana Carter has had a 4-touchdown day. Here's the heir apparent, Wally Richardson. He comes up firing to Ingram. Bobby Ingram, 16 more yards. Ingram might end up with a 200-yard day. 8th catch. And as far as the running backs, we talked about Kajana Carter. That was 18 touchdowns coming into today. 22 now. And Rashaan Salam sitting out there in Boulder going, I don't think anybody can touch my 2055.
Well, they got 5 minutes left, you know.
You never know. Well, that average has dipped to 7.3 now for Kajana for being stopped for no gain the last time he carried it. He'll try it again on a toss. Here goes that average. Back up. Kajana Carter. Put down. 32-bit against 16-bit. It's hard to beat him. And Kajana Carter with a handful of touchdowns today. A new career high. 5 touchdowns on the afternoon. Well, Rashaan Salam sitting out there in Boulder going, whoops.
I don't know if you can have a better year than Rashaan Salam has had this year. He's done it game in and game out. But, I mean, the difference between these 2 guys is infinitesimal, I think. I mean, these 2 guys are really a pair of backs.
We were waiting for a big play so we could say we've got way over 1,000 yards of offense. I guess that was the play we could say it on. Conway's kick is good. Kajana Carter, this time, waits for his blockers, takes it 50 yards for the score. With 4:44 left, Penn State in command. 59-31, Penn State, 4:44 left in the football game.
Brad, why don't you just start on the scoring recap now, and in the last 4:40, you should be done to get through the whole thing.
I don't think I want to touch it. Brett Conway, I don't think he kicked the ball this many times back at Parkview High School in Lilburn, Georgia, as a soccer player. This is his 10th kickoff. Renard from the 5, and he slips as he got out to about the 17-yard line. Gary, this is our final Big Ten game. We should get our Big Ten Players of the Year in here, shouldn't we?
Well, let's start with Freshman of the Year. I don't think there's any doubt. Alex Smith, leading rusher. Lineman of the Year, Corey Stringer. We saw him, didn't we, Brad? I mean, he dominates football games.
Unsung hero, Chris Darkins, Minnesota, who would have been the Big Ten rushing leader except for what Kajana Carter did today.
That's a Defensive Player of the Year, no doubt about that. Kajana Carter is the guy.
Defensively, Dana Howard, Big Ten all-time career tackle record. Coach of the Year, Joe Pop, who's going to be 11-0, the MVP. Gary Collins, Penn State.
He's the guy that put it all together here, and he had a great year.
He's got an 18-wheeler, and he knows how to steer it, that's for sure. Killens made a tackle, and we're down to 4.5 minutes.
Has to really be an ironic type of a finish here for George Perlis. I mean, you know, between he and Henry Buller, you have two of the most renowned defensive coaches in pro football. The Steel Curtain, Henry Buller just was a marvel coaching with the Patriots and different other players. And there are no answers for this type of an offense when you don't have the guys back there that can match up. They just can score at will.
The closest any opponent has stayed with Penn State in this stadium this year was 24 points. That was USC. Renaud brought down by Killens again as he got it out to the 23-yard line.
How would you like to see Florida and Penn State play each other?
There'd be some offense in there, too.
Yeah. But the great matchup that no one's going to get to see this year would be the Nebraska defense against the Penn State offense. Boy, I tell you.
Boy, you don't think. No, I don't think.
You know, if they are, it's probably warmed up just a bit. So it doesn't shock them.
They'll be out here running at 6 in the morning if they dump that on it. Banks loads it, airs it long. Najee Carter, the intended receiver. It is 4th down. Don't forget, coming up next, residents in college football scoreboard at 7 o'clock. That's time permitting, followed by CFA prime time. Boston College Eagles and the 5th-ranked Hurricanes of Miami at 7:30 Eastern. That time permitting, because that's about 10 minutes from now. And we've got 3:13 left here, and Chris Solani set to punt. Oh, he almost had it blocked, and the kick went straight up in the air. And then it takes a Penn State bounce all the way back to the 34. That's going to be about a 10, 11-yard punt.
I think it was Marlon Forbes, number 46, is the guy who came in and forced him to hit the wedge, or either that or number 92, Terry Killen, came right up the middle and really forced Solani to change it.
Kajana Carter on the sideline, but on the day, 5 touchdowns, 227 yards on the ground, and now has the gap closed a little bit on Rashawn Salam. Well, it certainly closed some. 23 touchdowns, 24 for Salam. Mom gets a smooch. What a day.
Both of them are juniors.
Archie. This is his backup, and he goes for 7 yards the first time he touches it on this series. Aaron Jackson made the tackle. We're under 3 minutes. Kajana Carter. Kenneth Leonard is what Mom named him. Kajana just sort of was the nickname that fit. And now the roses will smell sweet because they're going to Pasadena with a perfect record. And maybe they are loading up for Joe. Hey, boys, come on.
The seniors are going to have to do it. They know they don't have to come back.
That's right. Archie. Wow. Flags down as he spins his way inside the 15. It might come back, but it was a good-looking run.
Penalty mark by the flag.
It is a holding on the Nittany Lions. Joe Paterno, the winningest active coach in college football. And if they had a Mount Rushmore for college coaches, he'd have one of the 4 mugs up in stone. If they go 12-0, it'll be the first perfect record by a Big Ten team in the Rose Bowl. Ohio State did it in '79. And Oregon lays awaits in Pasadena, the Pac-10 champion. Second down at 16 as we're down near 2 minutes. Archie will try it again. Ike Reese out there to break it up. Stays inbounds, keeps the clock moving. We're down to 150. Big Ten will send several teams to bowl games. George Perlis will not be going to one in his final couple of minutes. And he has always been a lot of fun for us to deal with.
Yeah, he is. He brought the swagger back to Michigan State, but he kind of got away from you. See, Johnny Carter kind of clearing the path there. Joe usually walks home after these games.
I don't think he'll walk home if he's all wet.
Yeah, I know. I tell you, he's pretty smart guy. I think he might get the feeling that they're coming and avoid it here.
Archie, that's a 2-mile walk home for Joe. If he gets this dumped on his back, he's going to be an iceberg by the time he gets it. Oh,
no ifs. No ifs. They got him.
They got him.
It's a good thing he had the pant legs rolled up because he got it. You know, he didn't have the guts to hit the head, though. He threw it out his leg.
That one even took the cuffs out of his pants.
I told you he was a little too quick. See, he kind of feels it right here. He knows it's coming from behind.
This is like pro wrestling.
Oh, that was too bad. That was bad. He even had the waterproof jacket on, too. Hey, John. Yes, baby.
Oh, boy.
That was weak, guys.
Especially for a linebacker that big. Might be the final play of the game.
Stop by 44 Ike Reese. Michigan State takes over on back.
George Perlis, his last game as head coach at Michigan State. We wish him well in whatever lies ahead in the future. He says, for one thing, I got those 2 press box passes at home games, and he says, I'm going up there to see what makes all of you guys so damn smart. So I'm sure he'll be sitting up there next year.
Very proud man who's really shown that there's a way to handle adversity, and he's taught his players that you can keep your head up and take whatever's dished out. And that's really what he said. He tried to show his players the most about this year, that you can take it with dignity.
For his life, a lot of green in front of him, and he will tuck it, get what he can, and gets out of bounds near the 40-yard line with 16 seconds left.
Just out of bounds at the 40.
Brad, a lot of people thought that it was impossible to go through the Big Ten undefeated and win a national championship. Thought it was just too tough to do. Penn State has raised the standard in the Big Ten of what you have to do, and I think the rest of the Big Ten is going to have to match them.
They'll become the first 8-0 Big Ten team since Michigan in '91. And as we said, they'll be the first unbeaten team going to the Rose Bowl since Ohio State in '79. And in their 108th year of college football, 29 of them under Joe Paterno, they will end their regular season unblemished, unbeaten, untied, and for the 7th time, unbeaten and untied under Joe Pop. It's over, and it's over for Coach Perlis. 2 good friends. Joe Paterno says, I'm going to miss George Perlis in the Big Ten. He said Michigan State will miss him too because he'll be much harder to replace than they can possibly imagine. For Joe Paterno, a perfect 11-0 and heading to Pasadena. 59-31 the final from State College. For Gary Danielson, Adrian Karsten, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Brad Nessler saying so long for the final score. Penn State 59, Michigan State 31. Now here's Mike Tirico.
Guys, thank you. Great season.
Number 1, baby, number 1.